Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it is Sunday. We're going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers today for the first time this season. Hang on a sec. And I'm excited about this because honestly, the Cavs have changed a lot this year, and we're actually catching them at a really good time to play them. They played last night against the Lakers and LeBron's having his little homecoming to Cleveland area and getting a standing ovation from the Cleveland crowd. They played last night. They lost the Lakers. And now we get to go in and play them on a second night of a back-to-back. Let's start out with the latest lineup news because there is very interesting for the Cavs. I'm going to say this right now because honestly, their best players are hurt right now. And that's another thing that I feel like is a big advantage for us right now. So first of all, last night in the game, Darius Garland got hurt and he left the game only playing like 12 minutes or so. And he did not return to the game. Now, he is listed on their injury list right now as day-to-day. It is a neck strain. And, he had only gotten 6 points in the game, and he had to leave. That's very interesting. Now, Dane Wade, his ankle ruled him out of the game last night. So Dean Wade may not be playing again today. And then Ty Jerome is ruled out for the game yesterday, so I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be ruled out again today. Ty Jerome has an ankle problem, and of course Ricky Rubio remains away from the team for mental health issues. The other thing I got to talk about is Donovan Mitchell was out for like 4 straight games for the Cavs recently, and he made his return to the Cavs last night for the first time in a long time. Now, this is the thing. It's a back-to-back, and he played against LeBron in the Lakers last night. In a lot of ways, I'm expecting Mitchell to maybe not play today, partly because he just came back from being injured, and it's not usually a good idea to play somebody in 2 nights in a back-to-back. So even though he's not on the injury list right now, I could see them holding out Donovan possibly. Now, he didn't have a good game last night, and they lost. So very, very interesting stuff. The Cleveland team's very interesting. And I'm going to say this right now, that the way we can beat them today is very funny because it's these guys went and got Max Strus and Georges Niang this offseason. These guys are good 3-point shooters. These guys are interesting little gritty little guys, and they're annoying. But they've been the Achilles heel for the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers over the last couple of years for those teams on their defense. What do the Raptors do when they play Philadelphia in the last couple of years? You go right at Niang. What do you do when you go play against Miami? You go right at Strus because both these guys don't have the length that our overall team does. So in some ways, it's mouse in the house time with Georges and Max. And we need to go and find them and capitalize on the mismatches that they just always give because those guys ain't big enough or fast enough to deal with Scotty, OG, Pascal, and are really good players. So I'm going to say that's a key to the win right now. They have advice for victory now on the broadcast brought to you by TD. And I think that's hilarious. It's like we come up with different ways of saying keys to the win, how to victory, advice for the victory, advice for the win, keys to the victory. Call it whatever the fuck you want. How the Raptors can win the game is bully ball and really expose the defensive liabilities that Georges Niang and Max Strus cause for that team. Now, obviously, Mobley and Allen are out there. They're very much a threat with roving blocks and different things like that. They have to be aware of where they are at all times because those guys could be a problem. Those guys can be a problem defensively. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I have a lot of confidence in us. They're 8-8. We're 8-8. It's not like Cleveland has separated themselves and made them something like Orlando Magic are doing right now. No, they're mid-team right now, and they've had struggles. And, well, we need to give them more struggles and give them an L tonight and get that big W for the Raptors. On our side of the ball, the injury list is this. Marquise Noel sat out in the 9:05 game last night. He is day-to-day and probably not available to the Raptors. Christian Koloko will not play today, respiratory illness, and that's about it. There's nobody else on the injury list. I will say this. Grady is still with the 9:05. He did not take the trip with the Raptors to Cleveland. He stayed in Mississauga, and he will be playing tomorrow in the Capital City Go-Go second game tomorrow afternoon. So Grady is not available today because he is not in Cleveland. He is with the G League team. So, yeah, there's your latest lineup news for both the Raptors and the Cavs. Basically, no Grady and no Koloko for the Raptors. And the other side, there could be some changes to their injury list as the afternoon goes on. I'm expecting either Garland for sure to probably be out and possibly Mitchell being out also. So just so y'all know, there you go. There's your latest lineup news right off the bat, just so y'all know. And let's do the ref report. Ref report, very interesting today. We have a very favorable ref crew for ourselves, at least in the top two refs. Our crew chief today is Fred VanVleet's best friend, Ben Taylor. Ben Taylor is in his 12th year out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He went to Middle Tennessee State University. His favorite TV show is The West Wing. His favorite movie is that Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. Favorite musician, Brian McKnight. His favorite meal is ribeye steak. So we got to get this man a steak. He most likely to visit Scotland. And his hidden talent is dancing. Ben Taylor's a good dancer, y'all. I didn't realize that. Ben Taylor joined the full-time NBA staff in 2013-14 after 6 seasons as a referee in the NBA G League. He also has experience as a FIBA referee. So, yeah, Ben Taylor may not be Fred's friend, but he's the Raptors' friend. I'm going to tell you right now, he's our best referee today, the crew chief. 65% winning percentage for the Raptors career-wise with Ben Taylor present. We did win our first game this season with him refereeing already this year. So we have won a game with Ben Taylor already this season. And meanwhile, the Cavs only win 44% of their games. So it's very much a split, 65-44 for the Raptors on crew chief Ben Taylor. The second ref is Eric Dalen, the NFL tight end, the big tight end from Minnesota. We saw Eric Dalen very recently, I think just a couple games ago. We like Aaron Dalen. He's in his 17th season. His favorite TV show is NCIS. His favorite movie is We Were Soldiers. Favorite musician, Zach Brown. I have a friend who used to be the chef for Zach Brown Band, and he toured with them all the time. And he would show all these pictures on Facebook of him touring with the Zach Brown Band, being their chef. I thought that was pretty damn cool. His favorite meal is chili. His favorite app is Netflix. And his bucket list is to take a ride in a fighter jet. Yeah, Eric Dalen considers his most memorable NBA assignment to be his first game as a full-time staff official, Los Angeles Lakers at Denver Nuggets, November the 1st, 2008. And that's right, Dalen did play college football as a tight end at the University of Minnesota. He's married and he has 4 children. Eric is very much the same percentages as Ben. So we win 64% of the time with Eric Dalen around. We won the last game that he refed us. Which I don't remember. I think it was, I think it might have been Indiana. Wasn't he in Indiana when we beat Indiana by 1? It's either Indiana or the game we won last Sunday against Detroit. He was refereeing one of those 2 games in the last week for us. So 64% win percentage for the Raptors with Eric Dalen, 44% for the Cavs. So 64-44 is the split. Very similar to crew chief Ben Taylor, 65-44 also. So very, very good refs in the first 2. The third ref is a younger ref in his 6th season, John Butler from Grand Canyon University. His favorite TV show is Chappelle's Show. He likes the Spike Lee movie Do the Right Thing. His favorite musician is Jay-Z. Favorite book, Chop Wood, Carry Water. His meal is red beans and rice. So we've got what we got. We got chili, we got a steak, and we got red beans and rice today on the menu for the refs. His favorite app is the Bible, and he most like to visit Africa. John Butler's interests include traveling, visiting museums, reading, cooking, fitness, video games, collecting sneakers, movies, music, and sports. John Butler is the worst ref for us today. We have a losing record with John, but so do the Cavs. It's not like it's really weird because we have a better record with him than the Cavs do, and he is our worst ref. We win 44% of our games with John Butler around, and the Cavs win 25%. So they only win 1 out of 4 games when John Butler's present. So all 3 refs statistically do favor the Raptors, with John Butler being the least favorable of the 3. So there's your ref report for today. Not a bad ref crew. I'm not going to lie. I like Eric Dalen. I'm more and more I like this big ref. He's that big, huge ball guy, and he's pretty good. Ben Taylor, we know about him. He can be a little sassy. But the thing about Ben Taylor's psychology is weird. After getting called out by Fred last year in the press conference, Ben changed a little bit. And one of the things I've noticed about Ben Taylor is he very much will try and people please on the court. Like when he talks to people, when he's interacting with them, he is very open to hearing their suggestions. And he'll kind of be like, it's very much body language I'm reading. He'll be kind of like, yeah, okay, I think I want to try and work with you and I'll see what I can do. And then afterwards, we'll see Ben Taylor kind of do things that help the person that they just talked to. So he's very diplomatic, and you can talk to Ben Taylor and get favor from him if you're polite, if you talk to him respectfully, and you don't yell at him. So that, once again, there's a lot to giving sugar to the refs over vinegar and whining and complaining and yelling and coming at them in aggressive ways. You will get a Kevin Scott ejection, just like DeMar did on Friday. So I'm just saying, this be sugary sweet to the referees. Darko's really made it a thing where he loves the refs. He's talked very glowingly about the refs. And in some ways, it's not an animosity this year the Raptors have with the refs. It's like, let's work with you. We're listening to you. We respect you. And we think that the referees in this league are the best officials in the entire world in all of sports. In some ways, they're right. These are the most scrutinized referees in any sport anywhere because there's so few of them. You know their faces. You see it so right in your face. And in some ways, a baseball umpire, a referee that's involved in football and hockey, these guys can get away with more. They're not as well known. There's not a Tony Brothers in hockey, I don't think. So in some ways, the referees are more scrutinized, and in some ways, they are better than the rest of the world. And I'll say that. I'll say good things about y'all referees if you continue to be nice to us. Because honestly, this year so far, the referees have been more nice to the Raptors than hurting them. I'm going to say that right now. In past years, it could be the Nick Nurse effect. Nick Nurse on our team, we'd get hurt by the refs left and right. They're not doing that this year. I'm serious. And it could very well be our very, very charming new Serbian head coach. I'm going to say that right now, seriously. So if there's some differences we're trying to parse out about Darko and Nick and the differences of having them as our coach, there's very much a positive benefit with the switch to Darko with the referees, at least from what I can tell. All right, let's get into the chat with you guys. I always love seeing all the Raptor freaks show up in the morning, and let's see what's going on. Of course, we got to start out with our commissioner, Trevor J. Commissioner of fun on our channel, Trevor J. I hope you had a fantastic family Thanksgiving on Thursday with your family down in the States, and I always wish you safe travels, my friend. Good morning, Raptors family. Let's go Raptors. Happy game day. Happy game day. And here is the Trevor J. Cup. One of y'all that are in the contest is going to win this at the end of the in-season tournament. We'll see if it's frivolous. We'll see if it's stupid. We're going somewhere where the NBA has never gone before, the in-season tournament, and we have to discover what's going on. In fact, there's a bit of a controversy right now. They had a practice interview yesterday with Darko Rajakovic and Pascal Siakam, and there was a reporter in the Raptors media scrum that was new, that I never heard their voice before. And they were not a normal reporter. In fact, they were very rude. In fact, they were kind of like attacking our people, and then kind of making it about themselves also. Yeah, you know what that is? That's not a reporter. That's a columnist. That's an opinion person, and his name is Dave Feschuk, and he works for the Toronto Star, and he primarily covers hockey in the Maple Leafs. Well, somehow, some way, he found his way into the OVO Center to interview the Raptors at their little practice interviews yesterday, and he was an asshole. I'm going to say this right now. Fuck you, Dave Feschuk. Who the fuck do you think you are? Coming in there and questioning whether the head coach of the Toronto Raptors understands the in-season tournament rules and whether they're eliminated or not. I don't give a fuck what you think or what you think they should do. This is a game of 82 that we played on Friday, and we needed to get that W no matter what. Now, you were talking about what? DeMar's upsetness about the shooting at the end of the game by Pascal and him getting the technical and getting thrown out? What the fuck is your point, Dave Feschuk? Because I'm going to tell you right now, motherfucker, this is the thing you need to know. That, listen, all y'all don't understand the in-season tournament. You're acting like, oh, that's wrong for them to run up the point differential at the end of the game. But hello, Brian Windhurst. What about this, motherfucker? Because I'm going to keep calling you motherfucker, Dave Feschuk. And you stick to fucking NHL shit and don't go around NBA circles anymore, you piece of shit. And this is what I'm going to say, because you're disrespectful to our coach and Pascal Siakam. I'm going to go ahead and be disrespectful to you today on this chat. And what I'm going to say right now is this. Have you guys ever thought, did you watch FIBA World Cup this summer? Teams that weren't doing nothing like Lebanon and Iran, it mattered what they finished in the groups that they played in because it mattered for consolation seeding in what they've got to do. Well, hello, Brian Winters. What if it matters how the Raptors play out, even though they're eliminated from Vegas, for seeding in the consolation games? What if it matters if the Raptors beat Chicago Bulls by an extra 3 points by Siakam shooting that? Because it may matter for home court advantage in a mystery 2 games in the first week of December. Now, there's a lot of shit that hasn't been figured out in the in-season tournament because of games that need to be played on Tuesday. But when those games on Tuesday are figured out, well, they don't just figure out the top 8 teams that are going to Vegas in a single elimination knockout round. They got to figure out how they're going to schedule the other games for the other teams that aren't involved in other places. So it could very well be that the Raptors do need to beat Chicago last night by a bigger margin. They do need to beat the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday by a big wide margin and run up the point differential because it could matter whether they get home court advantage or their opponent may be determined by how well they do. Now, when you do better in these tournaments and you finish higher, you get to play an easier opponent usually. So listen, it all fucking matters, Dave Feschuk. So if these guys need to get better seeding for the mystery games, as far as maybe they get better opponents, maybe they get home court advantage, it makes all the sense in the world that every single team in this tournament, whether they're eliminated or not, plays for point differential because it matters where they finish out of the whole 30. It matters because we could get a better matchup in the 2 mystery games because we made that extra 3. We could get a home court game in those 2 mystery games in Toronto because we made that 3. So yeah, you guys are idiots. You're a sports columnist and you don't understand how tournaments work, Dave Feschuk. It all fucking matters, even if when you're eliminated, because those 2 games in the first week of December, those 2 games, the mystery games, are both games that count to our 82 game schedule and our record. So it all fucking matters, idiot. So hockey motherfucker from Toronto Star, just stay away from our media scrums. And if I see your stupid ass little blue phone in there and you questioning our guys and you attacking them and insulting them again, yeah, I'm going to tell everybody your name and I'm broadcast who the fuck is doing that like I did today. Dave Feschuk, Toronto Star, talking out of his ass, challenging our coach. And I'll tell you, I was very, very proud of how Darko and Pascal answered him. They were like incredulous. Like, who the fuck are you questioning us like this? And even Darko got mad at him and kind of came at him a little bit. And Pascal handled it beautifully. Oh my gosh, he made him look like a fool. In fact, Pascal's so good at this point in his years of being in the NBA at this point with the media, he trolled that motherfucker right to his face and made him embarrassed right there. He's just like, look, man, what do you fucking say? I just did what my coach told me to. So you're saying, oh, you telling me that your coach told you to take that last shot? He's like, look, man, I just heard somebody say shoot it, and I shot it. Okay? It's like, whatever, fuck. You Feschuk fuck motherfucker. That's right. And yeah, don't you come around here no more, Tom Petty. We don't need you in the media scrum around the Toronto Raptors. You go cover the blue team that's in that building, the hockey team. You're more comfortable with that. And you have more knowledge about that shit anyway. You don't know jack shit about basketball. So just eat a dick, Dave Feschuk, is what I got to say. Sorry, I had to get that rant out of the way. Because honestly, I don't understand how Michael Grange and people at Sportsnet and TSN can't put 2 and 2 together like I did and say, well, don't these games matter for seeding for the consolation games that are going to play anyway? Hello, dumbasses. Hello. And I don't even get paid to cover sports. I do this shit out of my heart, and I know more about this shit than y'all do. I don't understand how y'all don't understand this. This has happened at FIBA. This happened in Summer League. This happens in the Showcase Cup in the G League. It's the same kind of tournament format. They all matter. It doesn't matter if you're eliminated or not. We got 2 mystery games we got to play, and we better play to the best of our ability so we get the best mystery games possible. So there you go. Jack Armstrong, very critical of the NBA doing it this way. He's like, look, people have families. People have a lot of things going, and they like to plan ahead. I have no idea what games I'm going to have to go cover in the first week of December. People have to make travel plans. The buildings have to figure things out. The staff have to figure things out to get ready for these mystery games. They don't know what cities they're going to be in. They don't know who they're playing. They have no idea what this shit is going to be until after Tuesday. It's so crazy. It's really going to be like in a week, they're going to write part of the NBA schedule just out of the blue and say, teams, you got to go to this place, even though there's no arrangements made yet, because nobody knows how it's going to finish yet until the end of the in-season tournament first round on Tuesday night. Until all those games are done on Tuesday night, then they're going to drop the schedule for that week after we play New York on the 1st of December. So, yeah, it's very interesting. It's kind of like the schedule's getting written on the fly. And normally everybody knows the schedule months ahead. And Jack doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. He wants to forecast his future and know where he's got to be. And he has no idea where he's going to be in the first week of December, the mystery week. It's very strange, very, very strange. Dana's here. Good to see Canadian Dana. So awesome. You did such a good job on Friday night cheering the team on. Dana, you and your son. And badassery. Good job, Dana. We're proud of you. Good morning, everyone. Happy game day. Can we please keep this 2-game streak and make it into a 3-game streak? Let's go. That's right. We're at 500. Do we want to dip back down under? Neither one of these teams want to. And it's the same record for Cleveland, same record for Raptors right now. One of us is going to have to go above 500 today, and one of us is going to have to go below. And I want to be that team that gets in the plane and not in the submarine. And I want to get to fly, get some altitude across that 500 mark. Oh, yeah, that's what I want, baby. Let's get in a plane. Let's not get in a submarine this afternoon, Raptors. It's up to you. You show up with the right attitude, the right connectedness, the right energy. You will kick the Cleveland Cavaliers' ass. I have a good feeling about this. I really, really do. That the Raptors are going to win today. I'm going to say it right now. I feel like we're going to win. It's really, really good. We're playing them on the second night of a back-to-back, and we're fully rested. Yeah, it's really, really good. And the other thing that's good is their 2 star guards are banged up. That's right. They are banged up. And neither one of them might play today. Seriously. They may not have Donovan or Darius today. We'll have to see. If you ask me, it's more likely Donovan's going to play today. Darius is less likely to play, just so you know. Trevor J saying, talk to you guys tomorrow. I have to catch a flight at 11 back to New York City so I can go to the Raptors game on Tuesday with my brother and nephew. Look at that. I love this. We're going to have a Raptor freak in the house for the IST game on Tuesday in Brooklyn. And I love that, Trevor J. Really weird words of wisdom from you today, but I'll take them. That's great words of wisdom. You got to go because you got to get on a plane to go to Brooklyn, and you're going to cheer our Raptors on to a big victory over the Nets on Tuesday night in the IST. Yeah, let's get 2-2 in the IST, and let's get our seating right for those mystery games. Mystery games. You guys like mystery boxes? Trevor, I know you're going to go in there with the right attitude at Barclays, and you're going to bring some of that RFF energy into there and get that W. Help them get that W. That's right, Trevor. I'm proud of you, man. I hope you have a good time. Cowboys saying, good morning, Trevor. And Dana and Lex, bam, and the Raptor Freaks. Come on, Raptors. 3 games in a row. Let's fucking go. Chef Darko's dinner starts at 7:30. And don't be late. Yeah, what we having today? Some caviar, Cavalier caviar? Something like that. I don't know. That sounds gross. That's like fish eggs, isn't it? But Cowboy, yes. Dinner is served at 7:30. Raptors, go and eat. Feast. All of you. There's so much food for you to eat. Yum, yum. Cowboys saying also, did you guys see that dunk at the 905 game? He missed it, and then it popped up like 15 feet plus in the air and dropped back in. I've never seen that before. Fire the coach today. Like, not now. Right fucking now. Wow, Cowboy, thanks for bringing up the 905 game. Yes, I'll go over the Raptors 905 7th defeat in a row to the Capital City Go-Go. They've lost 7 in a row, 0-7 for the season, the 905 so far. That dunk was awesome, Bradley. I'd never seen that before either. One of the Capital City Go-Go players went up, dunked it, and they bricked it, and it went super, super high, and it kind of went around the air, and then it fell right through the net, and it actually scored as a basket. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. There were a couple of times the ball bounced off the rim in that game, really funny, and went into the net. It was really weird. It was like weird where they hit the rim and it looked like a brick, and it'd go flying up and really high up, and then all of a sudden it would fall through the net and score. It's crazy. Now, all right, 905 had a much better lineup yesterday. In fact, we had Grady Dick make his 905 debut yesterday. They got Javon Freeman Liberty back for the first time this season. Ron Harper was playing. Everybody was there except for Marquise. Let's look at their box score real quick. The 3 stars for the game for me and their loss, number one, Ron Harper Jr. playing a very complete game out there. 8 for 16 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. I like that. 3 of 3 from the line. And 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, +1 in a losing effort, lost by 14, 23 points. Ron Harper Jr. being a leader on the 905, but not enough help around him. And really, honestly, the Raptors just kind of fade as the game goes on. The Raptors 905. They do well. They started really well, won the first quarter. It's like the first quarter they've won this season. Every single quarter so far this year, they've been getting outscored. So they were actually leading after first quarter by 3. But then, they just get outscored for the rest of the game. And it becomes a 14-point win for Capital City Go-Go. But yeah, I'm proud of Ron because honestly, he looked way better last night in that game than he did all last season in G League. So he is making some strides and improvements as a player on the G League. We've been wanting Ron to kind of bust out. And I'm just going to say, man, getting a stat stuffing line like this, where he has 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, and 2 threes. That's a great stat line by him. He's doing it all. And he's also leading out there. He's trying to guide the other guys too. So yeah, Ron, you're my first star in the game. My second star is Mohamedou Guy. He was out there for 37 minutes, 22 points, 11 of 16 from the field. That's fantastic shooting. 11 rebounds with 6 offensive rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks. Mohamedou Guy is something else, y'all. Seriously, this guy's got promise for the big league. He's just got to put weight on and get some strength, and he can play. He's kind of going the same route as Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher was so dominant in G League, but Mohamedou's showing a lot of the same shades of dominance. Lots of blocks, lots of rebounds, and a very high field goal percentage. So yeah, Mohamedou is my second star. And my third star is Maker. He got a double-double last night also. 4 of 9 from the field, 12 rebounds with 5 of them being offensive, 3 assists, no blocks. I really wish Maker would get more blocks, but Guy was doing that. 10 points. Now, Maker could have scored more. He's fine. He's very active. One of the things I really like about Maker is that he gets up and down the court really fast, and he has ball handling skills. It's weird. In this game last night, he was dribbling ball up the court very quickly, looking a little bit like Precious. And when you have a guy that's like 7 foot that's doing that, it's really crazy looking. But yeah, those are the 3 best players. The front court for the Raptors yesterday, Ron, Mohamedou, and Maker were very much the best Raptors. Now, Grady had a horrible debut for the 905. He was 1 of 12. He missed all 6 of his threes. He had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, and 2 points in 34 minutes. But listen, I'm not upset about this. In fact, we need him to go down there and do this. This is the shit he's been doing on the regular club the last couple of weeks anyway, getting offers and just kind of doing cardio, running around out there. Well, for him to make those breakthroughs and really get through, he needs to do it on the 905 level. He'll have a breakthrough on the 905 level where he feels more comfortable, starts making his shots, and then boom, he may be more likely to make shots on the big level. Some of it is the distance. As I said before, the 3-point line is closer in college, and he's got to make an adjustment to the further distance for the NBA. The other thing is he showed up to 905 and he's been practicing with the Raptors. And he's more learning with the main team. Well, he hasn't been around the 905 guys that much other than in summer league and training camp. And in some ways, he has no connection or a lot of working with those guys. And that's part of the reason why he should have been down there a little bit more already, because he had his debut with them and he's not connected to the rest of the team yet. They got to learn to trust him. He's got to learn more about them also. And then he'll look better on that. I'm glad he stayed with them, and he will play with them again tomorrow. And I fully expect Grady to have a much better stat line tomorrow. You got to give him a gimme. He just showed up. He barely played with those guys. He's not going to totally connect. And that's a big part of why he didn't look so good yesterday, just so y'all know. But look, he's going to find that shot. In some ways, this shot is struggling right now. He's not finding the center of the rim. And that's why he needs to be on the 905 trying to find it right now, because he'll get it found more quickly down there than he will in the shorter time in the Raptors at the end of the rotation. So I'm giving Grady a pass. I'm not going to get on him for being 1 for 12 yesterday. And, casual fans will get on him for it. But look, you got to look at the reasons why. He's barely played with that team. And look, let's talk about this. Javon Freeman Liberty showed up for his first game with the 905 this season. And he was pretty much just as bad as Grady. 3 of 13 for him, 1 of 6 from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, a minus 17 with 7 points. Javon was just not hitting anything. And he was missing layups and threes. So it wasn't like he was, in some ways he was missing more different stuff than Grady. I do like the stat stuffing, though, of getting 4 rebounds, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. But yeah, Javon was a disappointment yesterday, and he was missing a lot of stuff too. Off the bench for Capital City Go-Go, some bright spots. Omari Moore, 5 of 9, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, minus 15 with 13 points. The new kid, Kobe Simmons, came in from Greensboro Swarm. He was absolutely great in the beginning of the game, kind of tailed off by the end. 4 of 10 from the field. He hit a 3. He made a free throw, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 turnovers, 11 points for Kobe Simmons. He looked like he fit in pretty good. And other than that, the other guys, Kevin O'Banner was okay. I mean, not really. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot in his 15 minutes. Jay Sean Page, whatever. He hit a 3. And then Morris was out there too for a bit running around. But yeah, the Capital City Go-Go beat the Raptors 905 ass. And on the other side of things, it was Hamidou Diallo absolutely leading the way for them, and Dotson. So yeah, there's your Raptors 905 report for yesterday's loss. The 7th loss in a row. They have not won yet this season. Eric Curry, your time is ticking. And one of the reasons why I don't think Eric Curry is going to get fired is because him and Luke Wynn are like this. Apparently, they shared a office together earlier in their careers around the Raptors, and they're very much best buddies. So if the GM is in charge of keeping the coach or not, Luke Wynn's not going to fire Eric Curry because they're very close and they're best friends. So that won't be who fires him. It'll have to be coming from the next level up. And that's our guy, Ujiri. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Eric Curry. In some ways, they just want to let him see the way. The interview with Curry after the game yesterday is like, look, this is hard. G League is hard. And some of the reporters were trying to ask him, what's the difference between your defense last year and your defense this year? You say, well, we have totally different team. There's totally different people. There's like maybe 2 or 3 guys that carry over from last year to this year. So any kind of like looking at continuity with our defensive effort and what we're doing is impossible to do because G League is just set up this way. There's a whole new cast of characters, and you can't expect the things that happened last year with 905 to be the same because it's just new players. It's totally new. And the other thing is, as Curry said, is that last year he was doing Nick Nurse's defensive schemes, and which is very aggressive and trying to get the ball out. And he's doing a different thing because it's Darko's schemes. And in some ways, the less aggressive defensive scheme of Darko is not working as well on this level as Nick's does, because Nick's is very like agitating and energetic. And you know what Nick was doing last year. So in some ways, that's not translating as well in the 905. Yeah, because these guys don't have to work as hard on defense. In some ways, it is what it is. But Curry, I don't think he's going to get fired. And like part of it is that they understand that the team, the 905, is always changing with the people coming in and out. And in some ways, the stability of keeping the coach the same is important. So I think we got to just ride this season through with him, even if he's a complete disappointment and a failure. I mean, we're already out of the Showcase Cup, which is ridiculous. Because, the G League has been only going on for like a couple of weeks now. We're already probably out of the Showcase Cup. And it's stupid. So this first half of the G League season, we're just punting it. And then hopefully they get the shit together. And after the Showcase Cup in December, for the regular season, for the rest of the year and the playoffs, maybe we'll have a better record then. And maybe we'll be able to compete at that time. I don't know. In some ways, I just throw my hands up about the G League for the Raptors right now and just say, we're spinning our wheels. We're wasting our fucking time with Eric Curry being in charge. Yeah. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Yeah. Dana's saying, good morning, Canadian Cowboy. And good morning, Trevor. Have a safe flight to New York City, Trevor. Let's see. Dana's saying that Eric Curry needs to go. Yeah. Cowboy's saying, like Lex says, yes, yes, and yes. Not even Grady wants to show up for him. It's not that Grady didn't want to show up for him. He did. He's being very professional about it. I love the interviews with Grady about being on the 905 right now. It's not hurting his ego or anything. And even, this is the great thing about Grady. Listen, his interview after the game, he didn't hold his head. I mean, he just shat the bed, 1 for 12, missed all 6 of his threes. And what his confidence and the way he carries himself, this is good. He didn't get down on himself. He said, look, I have to have a short memory. I'm used to this. I'm going to miss shots. But look, the great shooters forget. And they keep moving. In fact, they may forget within seconds. of taking shots and just keep taking them. He has that shooter's mentality, that mentality to never get down, even if you're missing, and just keep taking the next open shot, and they're going to go in. And I love that, Grady. That's the right answers you made after the game in your interview. And you didn't hold your head. You weren't that upset. In some ways, you were very casual about it, but in the right way, as far as like, look, I'm not hanging my head about this. This is just natural in the game. Sometimes you're going to go through these periods. And it's obvious that naturally he's going to have some trouble because he hasn't played with that team very much, that he's going to have a hard time. So, Grady, good job in the interview. And I like your attitude about short memory as a shooter, even if you had a bad game yesterday. I'll have a short memory about that too. Especially if you come out there tomorrow and you drop like a 20 to 30 piece on the Cavalier City Go-Go tomorrow. That's right. Let's see. Monique is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family, and happy game day. That's right. Let's go. Let's beat Cleveland. We're on the other side of the border. We're over there in south of Lake Erie, and we're in Cleveland, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's right. Let's go rock their world and beat their ass. Let's beat those Cavs tonight, Monique. Yeah. Let's see. Mo's saying, I'm glad people see the light with Eric Curry. Laugh out loud. He's done. Listen, I don't know if he's done. I mean, I just described that it may be that he's ensconced. He's just made. And in some ways, it could be that they just don't want to screw things up with continuity. I don't know. In some ways, I would fire him and get somebody else in there. But we don't know. We don't know how the two-year contracts of G League coach for our team work. Could very well be that he's just going to be paid anyway, and they want to save money and just have him run. It could be would be that they don't care about how they do things on that level at this point. Yeah. LH88 is here, a troll. Add Grady's a list of botches by this overrated front office. That's too early to make that determination, LH88, you piece of shit. You know what? I don't have time for you, bro. You're out. You're out. You came in here and trolled the other day, and now you're banned for our channel. Yeah, listen, Grady is a young player. He's still trying to find his legs. He's got to build up athleticism and physicality. And, you calling them already a botch? Yeah, fuck you, anti-Raptors piece of shit, LH88. Yeah, fuck you is what I'm saying to you on a Sunday morning right now. No swearing Sunday. Jimmy saying, laugh my ass off. Grady has played 16 games in the NBA, and you're calling him a botch pick? Laugh my ass off. You're like, bruh. Yeah, see, you're going against the Pope of positivity. He's very positive about this. And listen, you can't, like I said, did you hear my reasons for why Grady did not play well yesterday? He's barely played with most of those guys on that team. He may have met some of them for the first time ever yesterday afternoon, some of those end of the bench guys. He knows Javon and Ron and McCurr and Mogi, but he doesn't know a lot of those bench guys like Jay Sean Page and Amari Moore and Kobe Simmons, who just showed up and just met everybody too. Racemo Daily saying, Dick will get better. Practice makes perfect. I had a light bulb that went off in the last 24 hours, Edmund. I'm like, you know what? Edmund films racing. Edmund and I were talking about open gym yesterday. What if Edmund got the job of shooting open gym? That would be amazing. I know that you're used to shooting race car races and speed and stuff, but wouldn't that be an interesting challenge for you, Edmund, and your field of work if you got the reins of doing the open gym stuff? I would love that if we had a real Raptor freak running that show. I know you would do it right. I bet you would make a beautiful open gym, Edmund. I bet you would. Monique is saying tied with Cleveland standing wise, and it's super early. We're winning tonight. Go Raptors. That's right. Let's beat the Cavs. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. Their little baby D's are beat up a little bit, and we'll have to see how they do. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. It's game day. That's right. It's game day. Get your game face on. Get ready to rumble. Let's go kick some Cleveland Cavalier ass down in the States today. Yeah, let's charge into the Cavs and beat them. Cleveland charge. Ha ha ha. Cowboys saying Grady will play better when he gets a chance with the Raptors. He doesn't want to be on the 905 team. No one does. Nobody. Okay, bad boy who just filed for bankruptcy. I don't agree with this. I think Grady's fine with being down there, and it makes a lot of sense. They're asking them, why is Grady down there? Well, he needs longer run. He needs to work on his lungs and being able to run 30 to 40 minutes with extended minutes and seeing how that works and seeing how he performs. And yes, he's very much at the very, very bottom of his career, and he's starting to build it. So forgive him for not being exactly perfect right away. Oh my gosh. No, he's okay with being down there. He's a smart kid. He doesn't have an ego about this. Some of these other basketball players may get an ego about it, but Grady's smart. He understands this is an opportunity. This isn't a bad thing. This is very much a good opportunity for him. And he may have crapped the bed in the first one, but I'll bet you he won't tomorrow. He's going to get it right tomorrow. In fact, having a practice today with the 905 and getting more oriented and used to them, that may change things like that real quick. Because I don't know how much Grady has actually practiced with that group. He really got sent there at the last minute on Friday night, and they had to play at 2:00 on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, we're going to see. He's going to get proof. He's going to show an improvement right away tomorrow. Watch. I'll bet you money. Yeah. Cowboys saying, sick him, Lex. Talking about Dave Feschuk. Yeah. Stick to hockey, Dave. Please stick to hockey. And yeah, do your research maybe. Yeah, do your research. Point differential matters in the IST. It just does. It doesn't matter if you're eliminated or not. And then who cares? Like, who cares? Darko's worried about his team. He's like, oh, you didn't notice that the Magic eliminated you because they beat the Celtics earlier in the year? No, because I'm getting my team prepared. I have a game this day, and I don't have time to watch the NBA games earlier in the day. Sure, somebody probably came and told us this. Yeah, what, were we supposed to get all upset because we're eliminated before the game? No, it's a fucking 82-game season, and this is one of those 82 games. So this game matters, even if you tell me it doesn't matter because we're eliminated from IST. Well, this matters just for a regular season, dumbass. So there's all kinds of reasons why Darko would prepare for this game the same way, whether he's eliminated from IST or not, because it's an 82-game season, and this is one of those 82 games, and it counts to our record, and we're trying to get to 500, dumbass Dave Feschuk. It's just as a very venomous, like, insulting approach and very disrespectful. And I applaud every single person that put comments on those interviews about how rude that guy was and how he should never be invited back to an interview. Listen, reporters like Grange and Lewinberg and Mike Ganter, they write reports, they write articles. And, opinion columnists like Dave Feschuk need to just fucking stick to their house and fucking writing opinions from the house. They don't need to be interacting with the players because, first of all, they're not really journalists. They're like me. They're just people that have opinions and spout them off. And that's all that is. So Dave Feschuk is not somebody who's qualified to be in the media scrum because he's not actually a journalist. He's an opinion guy. And honestly, he should never have been let in there. I really thought it was like either one of two things when I heard his fucking bullshit. I said, either this guy is working for Rogers, as usual, and coming in and try some shit, or he is a hockey person. And I was right. He was a hockey person. I should have known it as soon as I saw his blue case on his stupid ass little phone in the corner there. So yeah, we pay attention to this shit, Feschuk, and fuck you. You fucking stay away from OVO Center. You have nothing to do there, bro. You go and fucking hang out with the Marlies and the Leafs and all that other bullshit instead. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's keep going. Where am I here? All right, here we Cowboys saying we're getting this win 1,000%. I like that. I totally like that. Yeah, all right, let's keep. Cool Cat saying, yes, Lex, tell those motherfuckers to stop minding our B-ball. Every game is important. That reporter looking for drama. I don't even understand what he was. In some ways, a good test. I like to see the feistiness in Rajakovic and Siakam in answering him and the way they dealt with him. Like, Siakam was incredulous. He's like, oh, really, bro? You coming to me, bro, with this shit? Like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, looking at him, nah, bro. He's like, oh, listen, bro. And he's like, he totally turned it around on him and made Feschuk look like an idiot. You go, Siakam. You're a badass, man. And you're above all that bullshit. He's like, really, bro? Come on, man. When you live your life like Siakam, you're just pure, true, hardworking, badass, good person. People like trolls like him can't hurt you because you're just awesome. And that's what we proved yesterday with Pascal in that practice interview. And Darko was like a little bit more fighty with him. And the guy was fighting with Darko disrespectfully, like saying, well, why wouldn't you know this? I'm like, dude, watch your demeanor. Watch your tone with us, bro. This is the head coach of the Raptors, and he doesn't need to talk to you, you piece of shit. So watch your tone is what I'm going to say to fucking Dave Feschuk if he's going to be around any of the Raptors any further in the future. You may get a lot of hate mail very soon, especially as we out who the fuck it was. Most people didn't know who you are, but I figured out who you are. And yeah, we'll come after you, you piece of shit. This Raptors Nation ain't having this. There's a positive Raptors fan group called the Raptors Freaks, and we ain't having this. You might as well call us the Knights of Templar, and we're trying to defend the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail is getting more NBA championships for the Raptors. So, motherfucker, we defend this team just like the Knights Templar would defend that Holy Grail. So you keep fucking coming. You could get the Knights Templar on your ass, Best Chuck. That's right, bitch. Yeah. That's right, bitch. Bam. Mo's saying Ron Harper Jr., JFL, and Mo Gee only have heart on the 905. JFL was bad yesterday, though, Mo. He was really bad. In fact, I was not impressed with him. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed in Javon Freeman Liberty because, look, I seen the dog in him and the scorer in him. And in some ways, I see selfishness in him. You know, they were freezing out Grady yesterday. That's part of the reason why Grady didn't do well is that nobody wanted to pass him the ball. There was, listen, Eric Curry, you need to get control of your team and fucking start guiding them. If Grady's going to spend time down there with the 905. You need to make him the focus. You need to tell them that they need to feed him the ball constantly because what the fuck are we doing? He has a promise in the future with this team for sure. All the other guys, they're just fucking trying to make it. In some ways, they need to build and put that offense around Grady if he's going to be on that 905 lineup. So, yeah, fucking tell your players to stop freezing Grady out. And if he's open, they need to get it to him right away because he needs to be taking as many shots as possible because that's what that G League is for. The rookie, Grady Dick. And in some ways, I don't like the way they were freezing him out to a degree in that game against Capital City Go-Go yesterday. Cowboys saying it's way too early, LH48, and fuck you. Yeah, I already timed them out. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to listen to this piece of shit. He came in the other day and he already had a couple strikes. He got his third one just now. Callie saying, let's win tonight, keep the passes crisp and attack the paint. Head into Florida tomorrow. So I hope I'm able to find games on TV. Listen, Callie, are you on Facebook? I really feel like you need to find me on Facebook and add me as a friend, Alexi Ott. So, Callie, find me on Facebook. You need to be added to our Raptor Freak family group on Facebook because there are ways I can help you if you get in that group. All right. I don't want to do it here, but I can help you with this if you get in that Facebook group with me. So, if you have a Facebook account, look me up, Alexi Otts, and add me as a friend today. And then I'll put you in our Facebook chat so you can get all the up-to-date stuff. You're not a member, but you are original. And you're indoctrinated. You just get it. You don't have to be a member officially. I want you in that Facebook group so you can get the information we're giving out on there. Okay. Cowboy saying alley-oop to Mo. It's so true. All right, let's see. We got this dunk sheet here. Let's give Monique a dunk from alley-oop from Cowboy. I like that. Let's see. G saying could have had Scotty Barnes. Oh, yes, we did. That's right. G, that's right. We don't need to respond to idiot. Let's see. Cowboys saying, have a safe flight, Callie, and you can stream it, if anything. There you go. Cowboys saying you can stream it. Callie saying, have fun at the game, Trevor. I'm really glad Trevor's going to be at that Brooklyn game. Seriously, we need his energy there. Trevor, you come in there right like a RFF would. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Dave Feschuk going to look at the interview. That explains PIG post play in, play out. Nice troll. Our P came up with under Lowry. Beloved handling media bullshit, NBA creating intrigue from mystery. We might get a wild card. You never know. Take nothing for granted. We won't get a wild card. We're already eliminated from the wild card. So we really were completely eliminated from going to Vegas. But my point is that there's still stuff they figure out for like the other stuff that matters. So you want to put your good best effort all the way through. You really, really do. Because it could really matter these two games that we don't know what we're going to play. They're going to be shaped by how we do against Chicago and Brooklyn. So it's like they don't understand that. So now you know the name, Cool Cat, Dave Feschuk. Yeah, you're going to go look at the interview. Yeah, go watch it. It's funny. You'll see it. You'll be very proud of Pascal, what he did. You're very proud of it. He did learn from the best. Kyle and them, they know how to deal with these guys. Fred, too. Fred and Kyle, they probably rub off on Pascal. Pascal's not normally, he's a very nice guy and respectable. But if somebody's going to come at him like that, well, he can show them another way. In some ways, it's kind of like troll judo. Okay, come at me, troll. I'm going to step this side, and you're going to step in it, and you're going to look stupid. And I'll look good still. There you go. Cowboys saying 32 watching. Smash the like button. They're 41 watching now, Cowboy. Let's see. Cool Cat saying we might get a wild card. You never know. Yeah, I don't think we will. We're eliminated from that. G saying, are you the feds? Is this an interrogation? Are you trying to get me to snitch? Haha, Pascal put that reporter in his place. Yeah, he said, why are you you're trying to snitch me? You want me to snitch? Who told me to take that shot? Who do you think told me to take that shot? 20,000 Raptors fans in the arena told me to take that shot. You want to go point a finger? Go find out who everybody was at the game. Dana was there. You can point a finger at her. You can point a finger at the superfan Monique Lawrence. She was there too. She probably told him to take that shot too. I don't know who took it. It's good to see that Siakam is not a snitch. And he's an anti-snitch kind of guy. That's one thing we learned yesterday. Was what? You trying to make me a snitch? He's like, no, man, I'm not a snitch. That's it. That'll get him more credit around the league. He's like, Siakam's not a snitch. Like exactly what they are. Cadavers, another fan base I can't stand. Yeah, they're ridiculous. Ohio people are ridiculous anyway. I truly don't like the state of Ohio. I'd have to drive through Ohio to get to Florida sometimes. And I try to drive straight through it. I really don't want to stop there. If I can avoid stopping in Ohio, that's good. Because I've always had weird experiences in Ohio. I can think of one in particular, a White Castle in Ohio. I can think of, different weird racist experience that I've been around in Ohio also. There's some really gross people in Ohio. Let's just put it that way, with racism. And it's kind of messed up. It's a messed up state in some ways. Yeah, we need to go down there, take care of business, get the fuck out of there. That's the way I look at it. Stargate's also saying Grady just needs to slow down and let the game come to him. That's what they keep saying, that a lot of the stuff that he was going through in the first half yesterday was him just like Eric's telling him, just slow down, Grady. You're going too fast. You got to slow down. It doesn't come all that quick like that. In some ways, look, there's two things happening with Grady. First of all, I want him to find the right spacing and the timing for him to get his shot off with people coming at him. Some of that's the adjustment. The players are much more faster in the NBA, and he's used to more time to get his shot off. Well, in some ways, he's got to speed up his release because the teams are getting to him too quickly and it's altering his shot. So in some ways, he's got to speed up his release. And then on the other end, he's getting picked on defensively. They did this in the 905 game last night. The Capital City Go-Go were sending the guy he was guarding the ball to him, and he was getting beat on defense. So there's some things that Grady has got to clean up, and definitely like being a better defender and not getting picked on by the other team, and then also figuring out how to get his release off quicker before guys come at him. So these are things he's going to have to figure out. He's going to get better. He's going to get a lot better. Watch. Mo's saying Dennis dropped the video and the Raptors show made the amazing cut in it. And wow, way to go, Joel. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a fun video by Dennis. And he is so quick. Like, he just made that video for the both the games recently. Like, he even had the Orlando game or the Chicago game on his clip the very next morning. So it's amazing what Dennis does with how quickly he makes his content. And yeah, it was awesome video. They were showing the part where if Joel was filming him while he was on the Raptors show. He's like, I'm filming it right now. And there's Joel. And it's like on the Raptors show. And then we see that part on his clip. And just the love between him and his family, his wife and his kids. It's just a beautiful thing. And once again, I feel like Dennis is really happy. In some ways, he has the ups and downs of us losing and winning. And he does really feel the losses when we lose them. And he hated that we lost to Chicago before. In fact, he said on the video yesterday that I really didn't like how we lost to them in overtime with the mistakes we made at the second game of the season. And I wanted to make sure we won this game against them today. I'm telling you, there's things about Dennis and his professionalism and the way he carries himself that needs to rub off more on our guys. And I think it is. In some ways, his competitiveness and the way he looks at things and how you should carry yourself is really, really exemplary. And he's a very good influence for our younger players. Let's see what else y'all are saying. MSJ saying Grady kind of needed to be forgotten and checked on later. Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying, Chris, and that kind of makes sense. In some ways, yeah, he needs to do the hard work in the dark, and then he'll emerge on the regular Raptors, and he'll be more competent and more confident. And in some ways, he needs to go to Mississauga, play these games with them, and kind of work out through some of the early stuff in the NBA career. I think this is so good for him. And it's going to be very, very good for him. Tomorrow, he's going to look way better. I promise you, he's going to look way, way better tomorrow. He's not going to crap the bed twice. Watch. Shere Khan's here. Good to see Raptor Freak Shere Khan. You are awesome, Shere Khan. You are like the MVP of Raptors tonight. You get your question read so often. I don't know why Randy doesn't understand. That's the same damn Shere Khan every single time on his show that's asking the question. Randy Urban needs to give you more respect and say, this is Shere Khan, our number one question asker. Because, dude, you get your question asked all the time, and I respect you so much, Shere Khan, because you're asking good questions. and they're positive questions, and you get good stuff out of those guys on that show. They're really picking on Randy on that one. What did Jack called him a paperclip pounder or something, paperclip pounder, and then Leo was very mean to him and putting him down and saying like, oh man, it was rough. You were really raking Randy over the coals on Raptors Tonight on Friday. But Shirkan, I love you, man. And I'm gonna give you a dunk for all of your great work with the Raptors Tonight crew and being a regular and getting your stuff asked all the time. You're a badass. And you're getting your second dunk right now. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. What's the deal with the Cavs this year? Maybe we can have an auto sighting this game and stretch the floor a bit off the bench. Grady will be fine in the long run. His stroke is too good to ignore. This is interesting. All right, I want to break this down because there's a couple of things that you just made me think of. Sam Decker's on Twitter yesterday, and he saw the highlights of Grady from 905, and he's trying to say that somebody messed with Grady's shot, that he's shooting his shooting form different. Former Raptor Sam Decker, another great three-point shooter. And he has a vested interest in Grady because he likes him or something. And he's complaining on Twitter yesterday, saying, what coach told him to change his shot? Please don't do that. And he also talked about how when he was younger, they did this to him, and he regrets it. So in some ways, he's very much saying Grady needs to keep the same damn shot he's been shooting since he was a little kid and continue to do it. And he's detecting a change in his shot, and that may be part of the reason why Grady's not shooting so well right now, is because his shooting mechanics are just slightly different. Now, some of the fans were saying, what are you talking about, Sam Decker? That is the same shot he's shooting at Kansas, and it's not a different shot. And well, I would trust Sam Decker's eye over just a casual NBA fan because he knows what he's looking at. So there may be some changes to Grady's shot that he's going through right now. They're part of the reason why he's struggling. But that's what Sam Decker thinks, at least. All right, yeah, Otto's going to play today. I'm going to tell you that right now, Shirkan, because Grady's not with the team. So Grady's not going to get any of those minutes. So it's much more likely that Otto Porter Jr. will be in the 10-man rotation for today's game because Grady's not available, and he will not be there in Cleveland for sure. So I could see Otto playing tonight. So what's the deal with the Cavs? In some ways, they're like us, and they're still trying to figure things out. Although they've had their coach for a while, and they've had most of their core for a while, they have a couple of new guys. They've had injury problems. In some ways, the Cavs are exactly who they're supposed to be. And they're not as good as the top teams. And, in some ways, I'd like to see them continue to go down in the East standings. If they become a play-in team or out of the playoffs, hey, I'm loving that. I think that's awesome. So in some ways, whatever's happening with them that's negative, whatever. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. And there's some issues with them right now. They're not exactly clicking. They're 8-8. And in some ways, they should be doing way better than us because we have a lot better excuses to be 8-8 right now than they do. I would say that. Stargate saying Dave Feschuk is notoriously known for being anti-basketball hockey head. Been like that for 15 years. Exactly. That's why. Is that motherfucker? Why is he down there? Why was he in our building yesterday? Was that a plant? Was that guy sent there by hockey media to come in and make it seem like the Raptors are a failure because of the IST? Nobody gives a fuck about the IST. In some ways, somebody's going to feel good about winning it, sure. But in some ways, it's so new and nobody knows what it is and nobody gives a fuck. Like there's no prestige or anything or sadness in not qualifying. It's so dumb. It's almost like it's a hyperactive NBA championship where only one team's going to win this thing. And y'all are going to shame and put down the Raptors because they're eliminated from it. Who cares? 29 other teams are going to lose this thing too. And it's stupid. In some ways, the NBA set us up with the schedule of it to make us have a hard time to win it. The first game against Boston and the last team to play an in-season tournament game. It's all fishy as fuck. So, go ahead and try to paint a picture, Dave Feschuk. And I'm sure your little article that came out this morning in your opinion piece is stupid as fuck. You're probably saying stuff, why didn't the coach of the Raptors know that they were eliminated from in-season tournament? Motherfucker, he probably did know. And who cares? Anyway, it's 82 games. And that's what we care about right now. We were eliminated from it in the afternoon before we even played in that game. Yeah. So what? You trying to question that our players are stupid and our coach is stupid? What the fuck is your objective, Dave Feschuk? You piece of shit. Let's see. Kevin's here again. Awesome to see Kevin Thompson back again. The paint is going to be crowded tonight with Allen and Mobley. We better hit those threes. This is a good strategy. And I think Kevin's exactly right. That in some ways we got to look at where their defensive strengths are and go away from them. If those small guards are not available and they have different people on the outside, this is true. We need Gary Trent Jr. to continue to be good. If Otto Porter can show up tonight and give us spacing and consistent three makes, that's good too. So yeah, this is really good point by Kevin. We got to shoot well from three tonight, Raptors. If we don't, then we might have to go to the mid-range more just to open things up a bit more. I don't want y'all to try and go at Mobley and Allen directly. You know these guys can block some shots. And in some ways, it's better to kind of go away from them as much as possible. You know, in some ways, we need to maybe see if Jakob at the beginning can get like a post up and bully one of them real quick and just get an easy basket right from the start. That'll hopefully open things up and make it easier for the three-point shooters right after that. So, yeah, I like this advice, Kevin. You're exactly right. We may need to watch what we're doing near the paint tonight. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Sunday. My daughter is in the tournament this weekend. Lots of basketball action. I'm loving it. Cavs lost to the Lakers yesterday. Let's crush them again tonight. Yeah, the return of LeBron James, getting a standing ovation from the Cleveland crowd. He's gotten different levels of emotion from them, some negatives and some positive in the years since he went to the Lakers and left Cleveland. Well, it was all love last night. They gave him a hero's welcome and a standing ovation. And they, rightfully so. This guy's, the time's ticking on his career, and they need to get every chance to show him adulation while they can. And he's still putting on an NBA jersey. So, yeah, good stuff. Let's add this, make them have a losing streak, and let's get a 3-game winning streak for ourselves and win this game tonight. I like it. Stargate saying Grady will be fine. Yeah, seeing a game like that yesterday, that's a rite of passage. That means he's making progress. That means he's gotten that out of the way, and now it's time to continue to build and improve off of that. He's got a very bad baseline to start from, and now we can keep going up with it. So, yeah, this is a rite of passage. This is normal for an NBA player, especially for a shooter. And, I'm happy. I'm in some ways happy about his performance yesterday because he's got to be grounded and he's got to come down to earth and he's got to play in a way that's emotionally mature and smart. And in some ways, the adversity of having a shitty game and how he deals with it and the way he dealt with it made me feel real good. Because honestly, he could have been solely blown away and depressed after the game. He cared. He showed the right level of caring. It's not like he was nonchalant. He didn't even give a shit. But he also showed the wisdom of a shooter of the short memory. And that is so, so important for guys like him and Gary Trent. It just is. It just is. Cowboys saying, I agree, Kevin, but we got to keep still attacking the rim. We got to pick and choose. And maybe there's times in the games where one of those guys is out. It could be that both of them are out at some point, and that's like free lunch. Go right on down and feast. But, yeah, if we can figure out some ways, like Mobley can be attacked. I really worry more about Jarrett. Jarrett is the really good defensive player. Mobley is overblown. He stands beside Jarrett Allen, and they give him all this talk. Like, he got defensive team consideration, and he actually got on one of the teams last year, and I was like, this is bullshit. Jarrett Allen's the reason why that team has stuff. And Evan Mobley is nothing without Jarrett Allen next to him. He could go to another team and he'd suck. And he'd be just an ordinary player. So in some ways, he's propped up by that big man with the fro next to him. And he's the one I worry about more is Allen. Mobley's kind of hot, like hot air bullshit propaganda about him. Yeah. Kevin's saying, yeah, for sure. Drive and kick, open shooter. Yeah, even if they just get in there and get the paint touch and they kind of move to him and Dennis just throws it over to OG and he's bombing a three, that works. That works fine. You just got to get that paint touch, and you don't even – in some ways you have to be like going in there like I will take it all the way to you and put it in the hoop. You can't go in there and like think I'm going to pass it for sure. You really have to have both options still in there because they'll play it a certain way. If they really think like, oh, he's faking, he's going to go to the hoop, we'll play for the pass. So they do have to keep that ambiguity that he may be going to the hoop and on the drive and kick. But paint touches and getting drive and kicks may very be fruitful tonight. And that may have to be one of the big strategies we use tonight for sure. I'm all about that. All right, it jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get to my spot the right way. Wow. All right. I love how you guys filled it up today. I'm hoping the Raptors will fill it up also today. Let's see. Cowboys saying, yep. Hope your daughter has a great time, Fiercey. Yeah. Hope your daughter kicks butt in her basketball tournament and lots of W's for her team. Dubs. Get the dubs. young Fiercey Salsera Jr. Let's see. PS Shooters here. Good to see PS Shooter as usual. Good morning. Did you see that reporter yesterday was trying to instigate Darko and Pascal? Laugh out loud. What a goofball. Shaking my fucking head. He should be banned from asking questions. Yeah. Tune into me earlier on the stream, PS Shooter, if you didn't hear my rant against Dave Feschuk. I want you to know that's his name. Yeah, tune into that rant. It's pretty damn good. So if you didn't hear it earlier, yeah, check it out. It's funny. Let's see. Fiercely saying, watched the Bulls podcast yesterday, and they suggested DeMar is now at a stage where coming off the bench would be better. He would win 6-man that way. He was minus 31 against us, and that's really bad. You know what? I mean, I don't want to do that to DeMar. DeMar is who he is, and in some ways, I get it. The Bulls want whatever's going to work. They're desperate. They're going to try anything to try and get out of the hell that they're in right now, and they're just looking for ideas. Anything. They're going to try anything right now. I don't know. I would never say this about DeMar because in some ways, he does not deserve to come off the bench, and it's not even about bench or starting. It's about the man's body of work and the fact that he's just one of the best scorers in the league. He should be starting. But if they want to talk about that and doing all that, it's like whatever. And he's a nice guy. He probably would try it for them. If it would help them win, he would. Race Mode has a Cowboys vote to run open gym and shoot it. That's very interesting. Fiercely saying they also said Zach LaVine took 9 and 10 shots the games prior to us, but 23 against us. They mocked him and said Clutch gave him a call and asked to play harder to increase his trade value. Hilarious. Well, that's funny. Bulls Nation, I feel for y'all. I really do in some ways. I mean, y'all are very lustrous with all your Michael Jordan championships and your history. But in some ways, yeah, it's tough being a Bulls fan since Jordan retired. That's for sure. Wayne saying another benchmark game for us. Eager to see Darko's approach. Eric doesn't really coach. No guidance from the sidelines. Everyone kind of looks bad. No judgment on the players, just a coach. Yeah. They have no, they're not connected. They're aimless. He's really not getting things across to them. In some ways, the confusion of switching from Nick to Darko and that has not taken right. I don't think he understands Darko and what he's doing. And in some ways, he's not able to communicate and convey the things that need to be conveyed to the 905 players for them to be successful. He's just not a good coach. He's a good assistant coach. He's a good analyst. He's a good office guy. He's a good dude as a person. He's very smart. But in some ways, once again, I'll say this. Somebody who gets a PhD at a high level, all they tell me is that they're good at conforming and running the rules and fitting into a system. Sometimes that's not the right person to be a coach. Sometimes you need a rogue. Sometimes you need a maverick, somebody who will break the rules, somebody who's non-conformist. And people that have PhDs in water thermodynamics are usually conformists, and they're not able to be fiery like Bobby Knight, Greg Popovich kind of people. And that's a problem. That's a big problem, you know. And I look, the guy's going to stay in the Raptors organization. He's very worthwhile to have around. Trust me. He's just not worthwhile to be as a head coach. He can come back like next year if he doesn't get fired and he stays with us. He will probably come back to the main roster coaching staff and be like a behind the bench guy, a second bench coach that is watching film and analyzing and doing numbers crunching. I don't know what his future is with the Raptors, because in some ways his fail as a coach, I don't know. I think he's ensconced and he's a Masai person. They just like him and that they feel like he's a good quality person. So he'll be around one way or another, but he should not be a head coach ever again. He should not, because he just doesn't have it. Chris is saying Grady needs to be able to hit a three, rather obvious. So it's all up to him. I believe in his jumper. Once he does gauge it, that's all it'll take. It took Flynn 4 years, laugh out loud. I don't even know if Flynn's exactly there yet. No, it's an interesting thing, the adjustment to the NBA game. Everything's bigger. The players are bigger. The athletes are stronger and faster, and the line is further back. So there is a learning curve for a one-and-done kid from Kansas that only played 1 year college and really should be a sophomore at Kansas right now. In some ways, that's part of why you got to think about this way. You know, you really got to think about where he's supposed to be. In the old school way, he would still be in college right now. He wouldn't be coming in here after just 1 year at Kansas. Let's see. Jimmy's saying last year they faced us with Pascal running as our big majority of our games. Going to be nice having Yak, and that's something people forgot. Pascal was our big for 80% of our season last year. This is a really good point by Jimmy. He's right. without a center last year, and Kem Birch being hurt, and just all kinds of like, we were trying to make it work, and we were somewhat winning with no center, and Siakam and OG and Scotty playing center a lot. Well, Jakob is a big difference, and this is gonna be true. I think we played Cleveland a couple times after we got Yak last year, and we did well against them. And this is a big difference. Mobley and Allen are way tougher to play against without Jakob Poeltl on our roster. And once again, we're going to see, just like on Friday against Vucevic, Jakob is going to be a big factor in helping negate those two big guys from killing us down low with dunks and easy dominating us. The Jakob is the guy who will block them down. And that's why we really need him. And Jimmy's got a great point here. That's a big difference from times we played them last year before we got Jakob. Cool Cat saying Grady will be fine. Lots of his draft party playing in the G League. That's right. It's just what it is. It's part of the process. A shooter's going to have cold nights. And, well, we got to learn from it and go forward. Cowboy's saying true to Chris and Cool Cat. And Kevin's saying no shame in playing the G League. Siakam was there. That's right. That's right. Siakam was there. Fred was there. Jakob was there. DeLon was there. Norman was there. Chris was there. These guys have been there, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. In fact, it's very good for his career. Cool Cat saying Dave Feschuk better understand that Raptor Sarvase feature Pascal in his rap video. The rappers love him. He has a cool factor. Better respect him. That's right. I heard recently that Czarface has done a line about Siakam in one of his latest videos, songs. And that's awesome. That is kind of where you arrive. If you have notoriety enough that hip-hop stars are writing you into their lyrics, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. When I heard Fred VanVleet in that song by Marlon Craft, I was like, yeah, Fred VanVleet. I love that. You hear Lou Will get a song from Drake, Six Man, that's bona fide. In some ways, I love that Siakam's getting the shine and getting a song from Czarface. Very, very cool. Yeah, Feschuk, you better watch out. The streets love Siakam. That's right. They don't love you, bro. P.S. Shooter 43 saying, I wanted them to send Grady to 905 after they fire the 905 coach. Yeah, they got the wrong order. Just don't even let him talk to Eric Curry. You don't know this guy. He's leaving. Don't worry. You don't need to talk to him, Grady. Who is that guy? Oh, that was going to be your coach, but he's gone. No, he is going to get tainted. Hopefully not too much by Eric Curry's. We just need Grady to get good direction. I don't trust Eric. Shaq Lindsay saying Zach said he will request a trade to Toronto. Zach Levine said that. He's going to request a trade. I don't know. Chicago's in trouble. Chris is saying also was downtown last night. We went to Pinco de Gallo for a burrito in Kensington Market. Where are you working now? Would have said hello. I don't work in Kensington Market, and I don't live there anymore. I've gone to Kensington Market maybe once a year since I moved away in the pandemic in 2020. So, yeah, my presence in Kensington Market is not there at this point, other than in the old videos from the show. And, no, I'm not there. I don't work there. I work from home, Chris. I only work here at my house, and I do all my work through the internet. I don't have to go anywhere, which is great. I love telecommunicating and not having to do anything like get in the car or drive anywhere, get in traffic or ride on a TTC or anything. It all happens here, baby. And I love that. But it also allows me to live a shut-in life. And, it's funny. Adriana was here this weekend, and we had to go and get a new charger for her phone because she forgot her charger at home. And I looked at her and I said, this is the first time I've left the house since Tom and Isaac were here. Literally, seriously. I went to the game with y'all on that Friday night, and I came home, and I had not left the house until yesterday. So I get really in a burrow, especially during the winter, and just kind of hibernate and stay in my house and just really do this channel and watch a lot of basketball and do my normal work, which is every single day. I don't have any days off in my job. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's fun down there. I love that community. And honestly, they love me down there too. It's a big part of my history. And, I have a part in Kensington Market's history for sure. People know, they remember me down there. The Kensington Variety VIP Club show was very famous at that time. A lot of the neighbors and stuff would love to come into the store and be on the show on purpose. And so I hope y'all will follow it. It's in the community tab in the channel on this channel. I'm reposting the 5-year anniversaries of when those shows happen. They're very funny, and it's during the championship year. So you hear me talking about what the Raptors are doing the year we won the championship as it goes by. So yeah, we're in November of the championship year, obviously, because it's 5 years ago. And you want to see where I was and what I was doing 5 years ago? Check out the community chat tab on this channel. Let's see. Kevin's saying, I see Grady as Duncan Robinson player, decent contributor to the team. Yeah, this is a thing. In some ways, Duncan Robinson's a good comparison because Grady could grow into the height that Duncan's at. Grady's 6'8", and we said he's 19. He just turned 20. He could still grow like Scotty did. Scotty grew from 6'8" to 6'10". And well, Grady could do the same damn thing. He could be 6'10" in his second or third year of the league, and then he'd be like a very tall, long shooter like Duncan Robinson. Now, I hope he can be better than Duncan Robinson and be a little bit closer to Tyler Hero in some ways, but we'll see. We'll see. Shaq Lindsay saying something is brewing. Something's brewing? Is it some coffee? It is early in the morning. Let's see. Kevin Thompson saying Zach would be good in Toronto. Give us the scoring we need. It's simple and it seems like that, Kevin. And we've said this a lot this week. I mean, Zach does really seem like he's the guy who can get a bucket any time. And we're a team who can't get a bucket at times. That just makes sense. Should we get Zach? Well, he's $40 million a year. And that's the biggest problem right there. Our highest paid player is Siakam. And Siakam makes like 30 something. So we need to give at least Siakam and somebody else to get him. Are you willing to trade Pascal Siakam and a player of ours to get Zach LaVine? And if you're starting to talk about lesser players, that means like 4 or 5 players for Zach LaVine because his contract is way too high. $40 million a year? No, dog. No. We weren't going to pay Fred $40 million. We were going to pay Fred 30. I don't know if I want to pay Zach 40 in some ways. Yeah. So in some ways, it's the money. It's the money. Shaq saying, I told you Grady is 2 years away from making an impact on this team. I don't remember you telling me that, but okay. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be a starter or like a main rotation guy in his first year. I thought that was kind of ludicrous for people to think that. But then Darko was using him in the rotation regularly so far this year. But I still think that 905 is the best place for him to primarily play a lot this year. Seriously, he's getting spot duty on the main Raptors, and he's doing well. He's had some good games. But there's also games where he doesn't do jack shit. And in some ways, he needs to go down there and practice with the Mississauga team and get more used to contributing on a nightly basis on a consistent level. Because there's been a lot of games where he's played for the Raptors recently. He's got zeros, and he's not really doing anything but run around and kind of getting the rhythm and the flow of the game and used to it. In some ways, he needs baby steps, and down there is where the baby steps happen, is 905. PS Shooter staying true. He should have stayed in college a couple more years. All these guys should. It's not just Grady. Scotty should have stayed in school another year. There's all kinds of players in this league right now that it should not be here. Doc Rivers is very interesting what he said recently. He's saying that he thinks European kids are going to take the league over more and more because they're just being taught how to be better basketball players than American players. The American players are not getting taught how to play the game right. And the European players are much more useful for NBA teams. So he's predicting this because the U.S. is failing at teaching young people how to play basketball correctly. That he really thinks that there's going to be a higher and higher percentage of European players in the league as in the near future. That's Doc Rivers, his prediction. Yeah. Let's see. Stargate saying, oh, we know Dave Feschuk. He's been around for years and covered basketball before. They threw him out there to start anti-basketball narratives and propaganda. Jack had called him out a few years ago. Well, that's who it was. That's who it was. Y'all wanted a name? I went and did the research, and I came back and showed you who the fuck was doing that shit in our interview yesterday. Well, now we know. He has a pattern of doing anti-basketball material for Toronto Star and his stupid-ass little advice column or opinion column or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. All right. Well, now we know. Wayne's saying Feschuk and Simmons are just morons. Mormons, you said, though. They're Mormons? Oh, been doing hit jobs on Masai. Yeah, that's a lot of what it is. I mean, they're part of the hockey establishment, and they know to hurt basketball in Canada. If Ujiri's out, the Raptors aren't as successful, and then the NHL has less competition. It's as simple as that, y'all. It's as simple as that. When people come after Masai, you got to realize a lot of them are hockey people. that don't like the Raptors being important or prominent, and they know that Masai is a driving force in the success of the Raptors over the last decade. So that's very pointed. It could very well be Gary Bettman and NHL people are paying Jay Feschuk to come down there and try and drag the Raptors through the mud and make them less popular. I'm really pissed off at Open Gym for their episode on Friday. I went off on it yesterday because in some ways we need to control the narrative about the Raptors. The Raptors are not a horrible team. The Raptors are not spinning their wheels. The Raptors are not without direction. They have a very good direction and it's up and they're getting better. And there's a lot of good things happening. And in some ways, people that look at the glass half empty are writing the narratives about them. The Open Gym wants to show our 2 failures this past week and not the 2 huge successes. And that's what pisses me off is that there's 2 sides to this. The Raptors are finding success and they're actually doing way better than they should be right now. All the people that cover the Raptors from the inside, Paul Jones, Jack Armstrong, Leo Routens, Alvin Williams, they all are saying the same thing, that I will take this 8-8 after the first 16 games of the season. The Raptors are in really good place. Why are the people that actually watch the team regularly saying this? And then there's other media trying to sully and put down the Raptors and make people think that they're a bad team this year. The truth is they're right in the middle right now, 8-8, and they're actually on their way up. But the perception of the media may want to make people think that the Raptors aren't worth your time to watch this year. But that's not true. That's not true at all. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to be glasses half full people and talk about the positives, the wins, the good things about the team, and continue to try and encourage people to root for this team passionately and positively instead of writing a hit piece on Masai and trying to take the whole thing down. That is really what it is. I just described it for y'all. And Raptors fans need to be aware of the anti-basketball communities in from hockey people in Canada, because it really is a threat to the great national pastime of Canada, hockey. The basketball is more popular in a lot of places than a lot of demographics and young people with people from varied backgrounds is way more popular than the hockey is. And in some ways, it scares the hell out of old white people that basketball is becoming more popular than hockey in Canada. So that's just what it is. That's a part of the reason why they wouldn't show the FIBA Cups, right? Because they don't want people to get more into that sport. And some of it has to do with racism. It very much does. It very much does. Of course, the NHL being racist once again with Marc-Andre Fleury. He wants to wear a helmet, and his wife is part indigenous. It's a beautiful helmet with nice flowers on it. And the NHL shows that they're the national hate league and being hater towards people that are not white and rich and old and male. Yeah, once again, it's one thing for you to ban having any kind of pride equipment from before. And then, oh, we messed up. And you say, you didn't learn anything in NHL, you dumbasses. Why wouldn't you let Marc-Andre Fleury just wear his goalie mask? That's such a fucking hateful thing that you did. It sends a wrong message. You saying that his mask is divisive? You know what's divisive? The fact that our government and Canada has not come to truth and reconciliation with the indigenous people that were on this continent before we came here, that's divisive. That is the fucked up thing, is we don't come correct with people that we genocided and treated very poorly for hundreds of years while we've been here. So yeah, you want to talk divisive? A helmet with some flowers on it is divisive? Fuck you, NHL. Seriously, you're taking the hockey out of the H and you're putting the hate. And honestly, y'all are bigots. You're bigoted as fuck. And it's embarrassing. Honestly, if I was Canadian, I'd be embarrassed by the bigots that run the NHL right now. I really do. I love that the media is coming after them like crazy. They're coming after them like crazy, and rightfully so. NHL, get your act together. Y'all need better public relations, or you need somebody that's smarter, that's a little bit more smart with like how things are in today's world, as far as diversity and, you know, being socially aware of the things. Yeah, y'all are very stupid the way you handle your publicity with things like this. Really dumb. Because you're losing people. Forget about basketball is going to steal everybody if y'all are fucking turning everybody off from being racist piece of shits. So get your act together, NHL. Maybe you will start growing again instead of declining. Because you're so fucking racist, you turn everybody off from watching you. You dumbasses. There you go. There you go. Fiercely saying Dennis was an incredible offseason addition. Respect the front office. That's right. Fiercely Salcero is getting a dunk for saying the obvious. Dennis Schroeder has been the perfect fit. He's been the perfect addition. He's been the perfect professional. And I am so proud that Dennis Schroeder is a Raptor, the FIBA World Cup MVP of the world. That's right. Dennis getting a really badass world champions ring on his content yesterday. He's like, some dude came to him, a jeweler here in Toronto, I guess, and he had him a custom made FIBA World Cup World Champions ring that has 2023 on it, FIBA World Cup, 17 Dennis Schroeder on the side of it, and it's got it says MVP on it. That's a beautiful ring, Dennis. That championship ring that you got on your content this week. Oh, I love it. It's such a beautiful ring. Shaq Lindsay saying, I would love to see Dennis and Zach on the perimeter. Dennis and Zach together. Well, once again, I don't think it's realistic to get Zach LaVine. We could get somebody who's cheaper in some ways. And he doesn't have to carry such an offensive burden. We do have a lot of guys that can play and score. And do we really want Zach coming here and taking all the shots like that he demands and needs? No, in some ways he doesn't work. He's not a right fit. Like Dennis Schroeder is a right fit in some ways. There's got to be somebody who's a little bit lesser than Zach LaVine on the scale of being able to hoop it up and make shots that's cheaper and won't take such a huge pie of the field goal attempts. How about that? That's another thing we got to think about if Zach comes here. He takes away shots from Scotty, takes away shots from Siakam. Wayne saying, Feschuk doesn't cover basketball. He just writes about a lot of topics he knows nothing about. His political contributions are actually worse. Yeah, I'll bet that. I get those vibes from him. He's probably a Doug Ford guy or something. I don't know. Yeah, fuck him. That's who I'm saying fuck you to. And I'm glad I'm such a good researcher. I figured out who it was. At first, I was like, who the fuck is that? I've never heard that voice in the press conference. I was like, oh, I'm going to figure out who this is. And I was taking bets because I saw the uproar against this guy before I watched the interview. I saw all the comments. I saw people freaking out in our chat on Facebook. Like Trevor J said, the reporter's an asshole. What is he saying? And I was like, ooh, I wonder who it is. And I'm like starting to listen to it. And I was like, I'll bet it's Aaron Rose. I'll bet it's Aaron Rose. It could be Michael Grange. It could be Mike Ganter. Who is it? Who did this? And then I was like, oh, I don't know this voice. And boy, is this guy like confrontational and very disrespectful. This is not Mike Ganter. This is not Michael Grange. This is not Aaron Ben Rose, the stupid ass. No, this was a new voice. And I did not know who they were until Grange posted his shit on his timeline to further this bullshit. Yeah, Grange took Feschuk's questions and put them on Twitter afterwards. And that's how I figured out who it was. Grange, you blew your buddy's cover. And that's how I know it was Dave Feschuk. Yeah, good job, Grange, giving me the information. But fuck you for purporting his stupid ass questions. Like, it's like, is there any value to what Dave Feschuk did yesterday? No, there isn't. Because he didn't get any information. All he did was take stupid cheap shots at maybe the intelligence of our coach and our player. Is that what you were doing, Dave? It's like, are you stupid? You didn't understand where you were? Because that's all it sounded like to me. You were trying to call our guys stupid, and they called you out for it. And even Siakam trolled you for it. You fuck. Yeah, there you go. Cowboys saying, who do we lose to get Zach? Nobody, because I ain't even trying to figure this out. It's not worth getting Zach. This is hot air. In some ways, it's just a flavor of the week. In some ways, it looks like it fits, but it doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Who's going to take less field goal attempts to Zach, letting him come in and do this? And Zach can't even start. He would be our sixth man, y'all. That's the crazy thing. Do we want a $40 million sixth man? It just doesn't work. He's above the pay grade of what we need right now, and he's not the right person. Let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying their speed and the way they can break down the defense would solve our half-court issues. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure who you're saying there. You're maybe talking about on your last one, you would see Dennis and Zach. You think that they would be able to do that? Well, I want to get somebody just and kind of in the vein of Zach LaVine, but not exactly him, and cheaper and kind of does the same thing. Kevin saying Trent Boucher, Dick, and probably a pick. That I don't know if that gets us there. What does Trent get? He gets like 18, 16 million or something like that. And then what? Boucher's getting 12 or something. So wait, that's 30 million. And then you got 8 for Thad and a pick. Yeah, that might get us there. That might get us there. I don't know. I still don't think he's worth it in some ways because of the defense, because of how much he's going to take the ball away from our other guys. Kevin saying, I don't think there is a big market for Levine. I read somewhere that Miami's not interested, so that leaves the Lakers, Sacramento, and us. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see. In some ways, he's not important to me. I don't care if Masai and Bobby can make it work, and it makes sense to have Zach LaVine on our team, and they make it happen. So be it. I'll be all about it then. But otherwise, in some ways, I don't want to talk about it overly because it is a trade rumor. It is worth talking about because it seems like it is plausible. But in some ways, it's also like, we'll just see if it happens. How about that? Fiercely saying Darius Garland is injured. I think he is. He got hurt in the game last night. He had to leave the game, and he did not return in the game last night. He hurt his neck, and there is a good possibility he's not going to be available today. I'm going to predict either Mitchell or Garland is not going to be playing tonight, and we'll see. Let me see if they've updated the injury report at all. They haven't really. No, it's the same. It's the same. But we'll be checking, and if you're in the Facebook group, I will be giving you the information as soon as we know. Cowboys saying that's a lot, $40 million. That's right. That's a lot of money, $40 million. Monique saying, Shaq, can we stop talking about Zach? You damn obsessed. Jeez. I'm with Mo. I'm sick of talking about Zach LaVine, y'all. I'm sorry. We played him. We saw him last on Friday. It's over. If they make the move, they make the move. If they don't, I don't care. I don't care if we get him or not. Jeez, I don't want to choke on live TV here. All right, Shaq Lindsay saying, why is it a lot? Think about a player like Zach doesn't come available at that price almost never. Only when teams are willing to blow up their roster. I don't like him in some ways too, because in some ways, look, he's failed a lot too. Like he's kind of on that scale with Tatum and Brown. When the big games come up, he disappears. I don't know. In some ways, he's not like somebody that I totally covet or think this is like one of the greatest players in the league. I really don't. I am surprised he makes $40 million. I think that's too much. Seriously, I think that's too much. Kevin's saying, I will take Zach over DeRozan. He is signed long term. Then after move Pascal for some good pieces. I don't know. Too much trade talk today, guys. Let's go more focus on Cleveland for now. Infamous is saying, salute, freaks. Lex, I'm glad you addressed the Dave situation. You can tell Darko wanted to tell him to F off. Yeah, he wanted to, so I told him to fuck off today instead. As a proxy for Darko, I said, fuck you, Dave Feschuk. That's straight from me and Mr. Rajakovic. That's right. Straight from our guy, Siakam, too. Yeah, David's here. Good to see David Saborin, trivia champion. G is saying to me now that, hang on, it jumped. The reason the price is high is because Pascal, OG, and Scotty need to get paid, and they're all going to be max players. I would like Zach. Don't know if they can afford him without letting one of them go. Yeah, and I prefer our guys we already have. I know people are saying, what? Whoa, no. We can shore up what we need without going so far as getting a Zach. I'm telling you, there's levels. There's some other guys that are more mid-level that may be able to fill that gap of what we need for score better than him being so overkill in a starter and a max player. In some ways, we don't want to get a max player to fill this need. We want to get a mid-level player. That makes more sense for flexibility with the guys we already have. Cowboys saying, I'm standing with Monique, but I like Gary Trent, and I hope Chris stays with us for a long haul. But we'll see what happens. That's right. Kevin's saying Pascal is odd man out. Rather have OG and Scotty. Well, what if I told you we could have all three of them still going forward, and that Masai and Bobby may be able to figure this out? Once again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I really am very big on staying present. And present is right now, we're going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm not worried about next summer. I'm not worried about contract extensions. I'm not worried about Zach LaVine. I'm worried about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Raptors beating them tonight. I'm staying present. And all that other stuff, that's front office stuff. That's Bobby Masai stuff. We can speculate. We can talk till we're blue in the face, but we have no control over this. And we're going to just have to let our front office do their job. And hopefully they're successful and they make really good moves and we get better and better and we get closer to a championship. So we'll see. We'll see. But we can keep all those guys. Don't believe this hype where we can't keep our three main guys. We can do it with bird rights and going in over the salary cap and taking the tax. It's just really whether the team, the MLSC wants to do this. We'll have to figure it out. Cowboys saying, I agree. OG ain't going nowhere. That's right. I love saying that. That's for sure. Infamous is saying, I look at the Dick situation very differently. I thought he showed very bad body language in the game, like he didn't care or want to be there. I hope he improves. Well, you watched the game yesterday and you feel like that's what you read from him? I mean, I mean, if you really, I don't see that. I don't see that. I think in a lot of ways, it's just he didn't know exactly what he's supposed to be doing because he's with a new team and teammates and a coach that he hasn't really worked with. So he may look a little lost a little bit because he's trying to fit in. This is like very new. It's a new squad, and there's a lot of guys he never played with that he played with for the first time yesterday. So you got to give him allowances. Fiercely saying, thank you, Cowboy and fam. There you go. Yeah, we want your daughter to kick butt in today's tournament games and win, 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 just like the Raptors will tonight. Kevin saying Masai is definitely going to do something this deadline after losing Fred for nothing. Yeah, we didn't lose Fred for nothing. Fred aged out. Fred priced out. Fred just had to go. In some ways, do you feel like we lost anything with him leaving? No, we got Dennis. And Dennis has been adequate fill-in, and we've been fine. I really don't like when people say that we just lose assets for nothing. That's not how this works. It's like a dumb thing that's more recent with people's heads. And in some ways, it's a tool used by people like Dave Feschuk to be critical of our front office. This has never been anything in the history of the NBA over a long time. Players have contracts. It's just like somebody you pay to do your cabinets in your kitchen. There's a contract. And this guy does your cabinets. He's done. The contract's over. You pay him. He goes away. He's not in your life still. Oh, you need to do the cabinets in my living room also. That's the thing. We paid Fred a contract, and we paid him. And he filled his contract. His job was done here. Well, his price went up. And in some ways, his price was not worth paying him that. So it's like, this is smart. Let him leave. Let him go get paid way too much by Houston instead of us paying him too much and our fan nation getting upset because we're paying him even more. And maybe he's doing the same thing he did for less before and he's hurt half the time or whatever. This is a really good move that we did not retain Fred VanVleet. And in some ways, not making a move or letting somebody go for nothing is the best move to do. So I just don't like that wording because it's weaponized by critics of our front office to say, oh, they're letting them leave for nothing. That's bullshit. That's just the NBA. Contracts run out. People go different places. And it's just how it goes. Fred VanVleet's story is so successful with the Raptors, coming from nowhere and making himself into an all-star. So, yeah, everything is gravy and awesome as far as what happened with Fred. We had our natural lifetime with him, the time we were supposed to have with him. And it's the perfect time for him to leave and go cash out and make a lot of money without us paying him. It's really that way. Same thing with Lowry. Lowry was a perfect thing that happened with Lowry and when he left. It was exactly the right time and the right situation. Now, some people will say, well, we got something for Lowry. We got Precious. And we didn't from Fred. Well, in some ways, that's Clutch being a dick and not helping us out with their dealings with Houston. They could have maybe got a sign and trade done somehow. Maybe it wasn't smart for us to do the sign and trade with things with our cap. I don't know. There's all kinds of woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I never, ever really described losing Fred for nothing is not the right words. It's just not the right words. Cowboys out, bam. And Isaac saying, 50 watching? Yes. Cowboys saying, I hate trade talk. But I agree, something will happen. I agree too. I think it will happen. There's just a little tweak that our team needs, and it could really put us over the top and make us so good. I think that what the Raptors tonight guys were saying the other night, Paul Jones and Leo Routens, about this team and the potential, the fact that we're 500 in a really tough part of the schedule and we don't really know what we're fucking doing really kind of shows that in the future, the Raptors are going to be a way above 500 team for the rest of this year. Once we get more solidly together on offense and we're clicking better and everybody feels more comfortable, the chemistry's off the charts. Yeah, we could be like winning a lot more than losing and rising in the Eastern Conference standings. Very much so. It's like right now we're 500 and look at what we had to go through. That I'm telling you, we're going to figure it out more and more and we're going to rise. That's what's going to happen. Paul Jones, Leo Routens, very confident that the Raptors are a straight up playoff team and not a play-in team, just like we were saying yesterday, Kevin, that they believe the same thing we believe, that we're going to be a top 6 team and we're going to have a real playoff spot and not even be messing with the play-in. And I believe them too. Those guys are experts. They know what they're talking about. They've watched it. They played it. They know what they're talking about, Jones and Routens. So I'll listen to them over Feschuk or Simmons, those idiots. That's for right, for sure. There we go. There we go. And cheers to Isaac. I like that. David's saying, who are we trading now and why? Laugh out loud. He's laughing. How many games above 500 do we need to be in order to end these trade talks? I think that a move will happen, like Cowboys saying, but it's just going to be, it won't be as big as everybody thinks. Everybody wants a home run, grand slam, but it may be just a really small little move. And everybody be like, well, what the fuck? This is all y'all are going to do. And it'll be a genius move. And it actually will really super help our team. I'll bet you that's what's going to happen. And maybe an underwhelming move. And everybody will be like, why did they do that? Garrett Temple, why did they do that? Or something like that. And then everybody will be like, oh shit, now I understand. Like near the end of the season, they'll understand a little bit better. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a huge trade. If it's a huge trade, it'll be somebody like Siakam. But I don't think he's going to get traded. In some ways, we're seeing right now that Siakam and Scotty really do belong together. They don't belong apart. They can play together, and they're very good together, too. Let's see. G saying, Pascal doesn't have an ego and is fine, and even happy with OG and Scotty having great games. Will Zach be okay with that? I don't know Zach like that, but he is a volume shooter. Yeah, I'm not with it. I'm like, in some ways, Zach is not somebody I want here at this point. The money's too high. It's really the money. G saying, personally would rather an elite 6-man that can close out games if need be. Yeah, and we were describing as DeMar able to do this in some sort of trade instead. Like, I'd rather trade for DeMar than Zach because he's a lower price and he could actually do the 6-man thing that we're talking about. Let's see. You want an alley-oop to Uncle David? Okay. Alley-oop to Uncle David from Cowboy. Once again, David, you got a lot of dunks recently. I'm seeing that you got a lot on this sheet right now. Callie's saying, cool, thanks, Lex. I will definitely find you on Facebook. Awesome. Yeah, we can get you in there and we'll take care of you. Don't worry, Callie. Infamous saying, unfortunately, trade talk will never end. This fan base just wants a trade for the sake of a trade. I don't get it. Shaking my head. Well, that's part of the reason why this channel is mostly a no trade talk zone. We really don't do it that often. I've been humoring it lately. In some ways, this season, I'm humoring it more, partly because it is likely we will do a trade. So it's realistic. But in other years where I feel like we're not going to do a trade and there's a lot of trade talk going on, I will tell people to just stop. It's a waste of energy and breath. And there's no point in speculating trades constantly. And the other thing I also tell Raptors Nation is there's times of the year where you should do trade talk and times that you should not. These people just want to do it 365 days a year. Well, there's periods of time where trades can't happen. So all the trade speculation just dumb because it's like, well, we're past the trade deadline. Nobody can get traded. And y'all are talking about trades right now. Or, oh, it's in the middle of the summer and it's not even a trade period. Why are y'all talking about trades right now? Oh, it's the beginning of the season and we haven't even tried and learned our team yet. And you're already talking trades right now. There's a time and a place to talk about trade speculation. And the problem is it's 24/7, 365 days a year. And a lot of those times when people are talking about trades, I'm looking at them like, you idiot, this is not a time to talk about trades. And I'm just like, why are you talking about trades right now? This isn't even a realistic time for trades to happen. It's stupid. It's stupid. And if these people are doing it during times when I know we can't do trades, I'm like, you're misinformed and you're casual and you don't understand that the NBA season has different periods where trades are allowed to happen and times where they don't. So yeah, you kind of figured it out. You kind of figured out who people like. They just always talk about trades, especially when they talk about when it just has no. There's no realistic time. This isn't a time when trades happen. The trade deadline's over. Why are you talking about trades? Shaq Lindsay saying also, if it doesn't work, we can flip him at the end of the year. Zach has more value than Gary because of his talent. He has more value because he's paid more. And the years left on his contract. Plus, we will have to pay Gary $25 million to keep him. Well, I'm not going to pay. Listen, whatever we do with Gary will be determined on his performance this year. If he doesn't play better, well, he's not going to get that. So he's got to play better. He's got to earn his money. All these decisions at the right time, y'all. Once again, we're playing the Cavs today. That's all we should be worried about. We shouldn't be worried about Zach LaVine. We shouldn't be worried about Gary Trent's extension or any of this bullshit right now. We should be worried about the Cleveland Cavaliers and beating their ass tonight. That's the business at hand. That's right. Kevin's saying, is Vucevic better than Pirtle? That's a good question. In some ways, I would say that Vucevic is a better outside shooter, obviously, and maybe a better offensive weapon than Pirtle in some ways. But I feel like Pirtle's a better rebounder and a better defender. So there's strengths and weaknesses on both sides. Obviously, Vucevic is a much better offensive weapon than Pirtle. But I would argue that Pearl's the better defender and the better rebounder. So that's just my take. That may not be totally true. Shaman Grant is here. Too much money to pay Zach. There you go. Shaman's getting a applause from me. That is exactly right. Good. Too much money to pay Zach. I'm not about that $40 million. He'd be the highest paid player on our team. And I'm not about that. No, I'm not. Shaq Lindsay saying Pascal, OG, Scotty, Dennis, Jakob, and Zach, the future. Shaq will not let Zach go. Shaq Lindsay, come on now. Tristan Phipps saying Raptors going to be one game above 500 after tonight. Tristan Phipps is all over Raptors spaces. I see you, Tristan, everywhere. You're awesome, Raptors fan, a real dedicated, real one. And I like your prediction for tonight. Shaq Lindsay saying if Boston can pay Brown and Tatum $70 million, how is it too much money? Because in some ways, Zach's not worth it. We know that Bobby and Masai like to invest in defensive players, and Zach is not a good defender. Why would you pay $40 million to a guy who can't play defense? That's what I would say. If I want to pay $40 million to a player, he better be a two-way player. And we have mostly two-way players. If we get Zach, we're going to have a defensive liability. As much as he's an offensive plus, he is a defensive liability. That's the other side of him that I don't like, is that he is a defensive liability, and we want two-way players. We want guys who play both sides. And that's part of the reason why the Bulls suck, is because Zach doesn't play defense right. So that's another side to why we don't like him coming here. Cowboys saying 2 games easy and more to come. There you go. Enough about Zach. I'm with you on this. He's a bull. Tell them whatever. A bull burger. Blackhawks here. Good morning, Raptor freaks. Good morning, Neil. Good to see you. Laugh out loud, David. Lesleen's here. Good to see Raptor freak Lesleen Hart. A great original Raptor freak from my first year. Good morning, Raptor freak family. Zach is way too expensive. I'd rather keep our starting 3. There you go. Our starting 5. I hope we get 5. Cowboys saying good morning, Blackhawk. Man. Country Kong's here. Good to see JP. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lex, I'm concerned about Grady. I'm wondering if it was a good idea to send him to 905. I forgot about all the politics at play down there. He's fighting for shots. No, this is good for him. He has the right attitude. JP, watch the interview with him after the game, and you'll feel better. You'll hear him say very mature answers, and you'll understand that even though he shot so badly yesterday, he's unflappable. In fact, that made me have more confidence in him to see him have a shit-the-bed game and the way he reacted to it afterwards. So I would say this. Go watch the 905 post-game interviews after the game and listen to Grady talk about how he felt about the game, and you'll feel better. Trust me. He's in a good place. I just want those guys to not freeze him out. The coach needs to tell them to feed the ball to Grady because he needs to be developing down there and getting a lot of opportunities. Cowboys saying, so true. Toronto is a basketball town now. Yeah, in a lot of ways, that's true. You know, the Maple Leafs are a very important part of the culture and history of the city, and that needs to be respected. And that is something that is very, very intertwined with the culture of Toronto, and it always will be. But the Raptors have a place in this at this point. And in some ways, we're a much more attractive, hot commodity and interest for people around the city in some ways. But it is always going to be the Leafs town to a degree. It's just going to be that way. And Leafs Nation will always say that to us. But in some ways, we can have our own place and our own prominence. And in some ways, we are stronger than them because we're younger and we're going to have more of us in the decades to come. This is exactly why it scares the hell out of them and exactly why they try and make the Raptors product seem less attractive because it's already so attractive. It's getting the future on their side. And the Leafs, I don't know. There's a lot of young Leaf fans too. But I don't know if there's as many young Leaf fans as young Raptors fans. And the other factor we have is we have coast to coast. There's no Leaf fans in other provinces. There are, but there's not as many Raptors fans in other provinces. We have Raptors fans from Vancouver right on across to St. John's, Newfoundland. And in some ways, there's other provinces are divvied up by the Oilers, the Canadians, the Canucks. And it's just how it is. In some ways, Raptors Nation is bigger, stronger, and younger and badasser. It's what I'm saying. Yeah. Cowboys saying, good morning, Country Kong. Bam. Yeah. Mug Brothers in effect. G saying 500 with the schedule they had, new coach and system is actually really good. It's publicly noted that Ed Rogers sabotaged Masai and wanted to promote Bobby and use the difference in salary as his own. Yeah, that's what he said. You're way overpaid. And, honestly, why do we need both you and Bobby? I'll fire you and I'll let Bobby run this team. Yeah, he tried that shit. And in some ways, fuck you, Ed Rogers, for trying to mess with a guy who's done a very good job for our team. And he is amazing. In some ways, he's worth every single penny. You don't think he's worth it? I do. I think he's worth it. Carlos saying, morning, fam. Thoughts on Grady's struggles? Talked a lot about it a lot already, Carlo. I hope you kind of heard it. I kind of don't want to go over it again. Cowboy saying, yes, sir, Carlo. Bam. Country Con saying, morning, Cowboy. Y'all talking about Zach? Yeah, too much. Isaac saying, "Ta-da, that wonderful Sunday of yours." All right. You want me to do an advertisement? I'll do it. Here you go. Here's the number. Ta-da Services. They will come and help you out. Call toll free at 647-833-6844. Franchise is available. So if you want to do Ta-da Services in your community, you can look into getting your own franchise like Bradley, the Canadian Cowboy. You call this number, you will get Bradley to come to your house. Where's my finger? I want it here. Yeah, up front. Right there. There you go. There you go. Ta-da Services. Ta-da. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Carlos saying, Cowboy. That's right. Cowboy saying, yeah, this bull burger keeps coming up. We keep talking about Levine, y'all. Levine's on our mind. We got to stop talking about him, y'all, at some point. At some point. All right, see, Infamous is saying, people need to think. You get Zach here. Who are you sending to the bench? Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to send him to the bench. Any of them. I want Zach to come off the bench. That's why we need a six man. We don't need a straight up starter. We need somebody who's really, really good off the bench that scores a lot. And also, if they could be a more true backup point guard, that would probably be good too. Let's see. Cowboys on tap. Infamous saying Pascal and Darko answer his questions. He just didn't like the answer that he received. What an asshole. Yeah, he answered it. What are you trying to say to them, Dave? You trying to say they're stupid? That they didn't understand something? That they're not professional enough to understand their situation with the in-season tournament? That's what it seemed like you were intimating, man. Well, how about this, motherfucker? If they weren't prepared or doing a good job, why the fuck did they win the game? That's the one thing. Why are you coming in and asking that question? They won that game. And you're asking them, did you know that did you know that they won the game, Dave? How about that instead? Counterpoint. I would have done that. I would be like, Pascal would be like, you know what? Actually, forget your question. I'm vetoing it. How about this? Did you know that we won the game? How about that, Dave? You dumbass. Is that all that mattered in some ways, that they won the game on Friday against the Bulls? I think that's all that mattered to me. I don't give a shit about the in-season tournament elimination of all that bullshit. We won one of our 82 games, and we're 500 again. Yeah, you should ask them that. Did you know that we won the game? Did you know that you were eliminated from did you know that we won the game, dumbass? Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's so funny. Let's see. Carlos saying, isn't Zach a defensive liability? Yes. Who is Zach? Zach, he's a Lego maniac, just like Miles Turner. Tristan Phipps is saying, I can't believe that reporter is a Raptors reporter. He wasn't. He's a Toronto Star opinion journalist who covers the Maple Leafs primarily, and he has written anti-basketball editorials for the Toronto Star in the past. So he's completely a plant, and somebody sent him down there to get this stupid-ass questioning going. Is what happened. Somebody sent him down there. It could have very well been Ed Rogers. He said, go down there and ask him those tough questions, Dave. You know what I mean. And then you can write a dumbass column on Sunday, and people can read it that are casuals and buy into your anti-Raptors bullshit. Yeah, there you go. There you go. If it was saying that Carlo, he is a huge defensive liability. Zach Levine, yeah. And Carlo's saying, yeah, $40 million to cover on defense? No, he's not. Yeah, nah. Cowboys saying Cavs are going down. Raptors by 16. I like that prediction. That's all right. G saying, I have watched 0 Cavs games. How are they looking? Well, they're up and down. They're not consistent. They've lost some games that they probably should have won, and they've won some games they maybe shouldn't have won. And they've played competitively, but they're 8-8. Honestly, if you look at what they did last year with their record and where they were going, they should have a better record right now. They rekept most of their players, and they have the same coach, and they haven't had much turnover. They should be winning at the same clip that they were last year. But I think part of the problem is that Donovan Mitchell has been flaky, and whether he's been showing up for games because he's been hurt a lot. It's obvious that Donovan is not committed to their franchise, and he's kind of just a faker around them, and that hurts them for leadership and their potential for the future. Because honestly, everybody knows Donovan Mitchell is going to hightail it out of Cleveland as soon as he can. And in some ways, he's already treating being around their team half-assed. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Kenrick's here. Good to see Kenrick, Chronic Art James. Kenrick has the Lakers in the in-season tournament competition we're doing with Trevor J. So if the Lakers win, Kenrick, this is your trophy. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Kenrick saying, rather give Pascal the money. He's proven. Zach is nice, but he doesn't put us over the top. Yeah, I don't think he does either. If he doesn't put the Bulls over the top, why would he put us over the top? Seriously. Let's see. Isaac's saying, I would rather the Raptors get draft picks and develop talent than pay a new player $40 million. There you go. Alley-oop to Isaac from Cowboy for that one. All right, Isaac Campbell, the benevolent Isaac Campbell, holding it down in Ottawa for us. I love you, Isaac. It was so great to meet you in person, man. You're just an awesome dude, man. You got good energy, bro. Let's see. Cowboys saying, since we're talking trade talk, it will be someone off Detroit or the Thunder. That could be interesting. There's some good young players on both those teams. Fiercely saying, we won 2 games out of 3, but the points differential was too high in our loss. So we're not advancing to the semis. It's okay. We play, we learn, we grow. If you want to go to Vegas, you can't lose 2 games in this tournament. You just can't. As soon as you lose 2 games, Nick Nurse in Philadelphia, you ain't going to Vegas. So that's just what I got to say on that. You want to go to Vegas, you got to be perfect, win out your group, and be 4-0, if not 3-1. So you're either 4-0 or 3-1, and then you go. That's the only way it works. With so many different teams vying for the wild cards, and there's only one wild card in each conference. There's one in the West and one in the East. The 3 top teams from the divisions go, and then that extra team that's 3-1 somewhere in there gets to go otherwise. And that's it. If you lose twice, you're done. You're done. Every single of the teams that got 2 losses right now, they're not going to Vegas. It's the teams that have 0 losses and 1 loss are the teams that are most likely to go to Vegas at this point. And it'll all be determined on Tuesday. And then they're going to scramble and get that schedule together for the first week of December. And the Raptors will know their opponents and where they're playing then. Let's see. Cowboys saying he's got our team on blast. I love it. Let's go. And alley-oop to Fiercey. Let's keep growing. That's right. Fiercey growing with her daughter playing in a game today. That's right. She's growing the game in Canada with her daughter playing basketball today in a tournament. There you go. G saying in 2026-27, Zach's contract is $49 million. In 2025 is $46 million. No more Zach talk from me. Had to investigate the contract, and it's high, and it's not worth it. That's what I would say right there. He's not worth that kind of money if he's not going to play defense. Cowboys saying Zach can't walk in Toronto alleys. What? Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas, our dunk leader, our dunk champion. We bullied Cleveland with no legit center last year. The Cavaliers are frauds, and Mitchell is a Nick. There you go. Kareem doing what he does. He's prolific just like Siakam. It's like a Siakam spin, what Kareem does here. I love it. He called them the Cavaliers. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you dunk on this channel. You put a witty put down like that. The Cavaliers. I like that. Mitchell is a Nick. That's right. Stargate saying these young casuals spend more time proposing trades and thinking about prospective trade scenarios than actually just being a fan and supporting the team. Shaking my head. I wish they put that energy into learning the game from people like Samson Folk and Jack Armstrong and Leo Routens. Go listen to their content and learn the X's and O's. Learn how to play basketball fundamentally right. Maybe you'll get better as a player in your own real life, Raptors Nation. If you could learn the game fundamentally and maybe study that instead of studying trade scenarios, go learn the actual game, the X's and O's, how to play right, the history of the game. Go learn about Artis Gilmore and Nate Tiny Archibald and shit like that instead of fucking doing your trade scenarios. Maybe have some knowledge so you can base some of your opinions on good shit and informed shit instead of just I'm on computer on ESPN trade machine and I tried it. It all lines up. How about you go and research Haywood Workman or fucking go way back and study some Bob Cousy or George Mikan? How about that instead, you idiots? That's what I would say to those fans. That's right. Cowboys saying, thanks for the shout out, Lex. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. I'll do it again. Today Services, man. It's like they're going to come and get rid of your mold. They'll help you with water damage, y'all. You got water damage? They'll come and help you. They will help you with flooring. They will help you as a handyman. They will help you with flood restoration. So whatever you need. Tada Cleaning Services, they are all-purpose, jack of all trades. Company 644-833-6844. That's right. That's the number. That's why I wanted that, because I wanted to tell your number now. Carlos saying we got all the two-way goodness with Pascal, OG, Scotty. So it's either we get our point guard of the future or a good backup point guard. We don't need Levine. An evolved Gary Trent Jr., we can just wait for Gary to bloom. In some ways, Gary is a cheaper Levine that just hasn't blossomed, as Carlo is saying. That's exactly right there. I want a good backup point guard. I feel like that's what we need. That's the most important need that we need. If Malachi is developing and becoming that today, that'd be great. But otherwise, it's like that. That's kind of the need I want. That and a third center, and possibly a better backup point guard if Malachi is not going to do better and better as time goes. Alley-oop to Carlo. He's getting that. Patchouli G is here. Good to see Patchouli G holding it down in the kitchen. Hopefully everybody's not looking at them crazy because we're being crazy. People don't want to pay Pascal and yet are willing to pay Levine. Pascal is a G League champion, a most improved player, all NBA, all star, and NBA champion, and they feel we will be paying too much. Make it make sense. Patchouli G is asking me to make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. And you are exactly right, Patchouli G, putting out Siakam's resume. Pay that man. What are we waiting for? Pay that man, Masai. Come on now. Wayne saying, give us the health report, Lex, on our game tonight. We need to be 4 games over 500 at the end of this stretch of games. All right, basically straight up this. For us, we don't really have any injuries. Basically, right now, it's showing that Noel is out for the 905 and Koloko is out, and that's it. All of our guys are ready and available, except for Grady is still in Toronto. He will not be available for the Cleveland game, so no Grady Dick for the regular Raptors tonight. He stayed behind. He's with the 905 in Mississauga to play that with them tomorrow instead. Now, on the other side, it's interesting. It's going to be changing as the day goes on. I'm going to tell you right now, it could very well be Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell do not play tonight because they've both been kind of having problems. Mitchell just came back from an injury last night for the first game. He didn't shoot well, and it's a back-to-back situation. Now, if he has a lingering injury, they may decide to rest him on the second night of a back-to-back against us. They may very well buy into the fact that they think that we're a bad team like other teams in the NBA thinks, and they may take us lightly and think we're a slouch. We may have to see that. Now, Garland got hurt in the game against the Lakers last night, and he did not return after he strained his neck. And it could very well be that Garland is not available today. So it's looking like the injuries for the Cavs are centered around their backcourt and that they're not 100%, either one of those two guys, even if they play tonight, just so you know. The rest of it is like Dean Wade's out and Ricky Rubio and Ty Jerome are out for the Cavs. So there's your injury report just real quick there again for you. Let's see, who was saying that? Who wanted that injury report? Oh, it was Wayne. Infamous is saying Fred going people complain. If he stayed, they would have complained about the price tag in his place. So it's a no-win situation. No, the right thing happened. In some ways, Dennis has not got the baggage that Fred has with our nation. And in some ways, we overpaid Fred, and he stuck around. And every time he failed, they would be all over him, just like they were last year. And it's stupid. I mean, Rockets Nation is already kind of doing this to Fred. Fred has dud games here and there, and they turn on him already. It's crazy. Summer Lowe's here. Good to see original Raptor Freak Summer Lowe. I wouldn't mind Zach on this team. I think he's the type of player we haven't had in a long time. We've always lacked that twitchy two guard who can slash and shoot. He can definitely score. And boy, did he score against top-level defenders, ours, on Friday. But once again, we've gone over this ad nauseum, Summer, today. And we have like 3 good reasons for not wanting him. His price tag, the defensive liability, and then he's going to take away shots from our guys that we want to take more shots right now. And that's specifically Scotty and Siakam. Cowboys saying alley-oop Patchouli G. All right, we get Patchouli G on the dunk report. I think I gave Patchouli some dunks from before from being in the kitchen. Let me make sure that they're not on here already before I write them in again. Pretty sure I gave Patchouli a dunk at some point. Maybe I didn't. All right, we'll write them in now. All right, Patchouli G. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Cowboy, you're just always giving dunks all over the place. Kareem in the house. That's right. Wayne saying, Lex, just ignore Zach's post. Waste of time reading that crap. You'll be here till game time. What's up, Neon Moon? That's right. Cowboy singing that Brooks and Dunn. G saying, we need a good backup center for sure. With no Koloko, we need somebody else. Cowboy saying, later, Lex. Bam, Raptor Freaks. Everyone have a blessed day and a safe day. And we're going to win tonight. Let's go, Raptors. You go, Cowboy. I'm giving you an alley-oop. Nobody ever gives you an alley-oop. I'm going to give you an alley-oop today, Cowboy. You're getting one from me. Let's see. Carlos saying, you don't want to wait for Koloko? I think we need 3. I think that depth is important. I feel like teams always should have had 3 centers. I've always hated the Raptors having no centers. And now that we've got 2 centers, but one of them's hurt, I'm like, we need 3 centers. So I just want one more center. And they don't even have to be that good quality. They can be like Luke Cornett, like level center. They don't need to be absolutely good. Maker could get that jump, and he could be that guy. Let's see. Cowboys saying, yes, sir. Big tune. Koloko will be fine. He'll be back. Kareem saying, I think Koloko needs to get some burn and expand his respiratory system. I feel like him being sidelined is only collapsing his lung capacity. Yikes. I mean, it's Dr. McKechnie, and they're really using the best medical science to monitor Koloko. So hopefully they know what's going on with him. They're doing the right things for him no matter what. G saying, yes, would love Koloko back, but he will still be raw and need to work back in. Would like someone else too. Don't want to throw it out there, but what if Yak can't play? It would be a void. That's what I'm saying. We need a backup plan just in case horrible things happen that we don't want to happen. Knock on wood, nothing happening. That's what I'm saying. You need backup to backup. You need a next man up mentality. In some ways, we want somebody who's around and within the group just in case. There's a lack of depth at the center for us, and I want to shore that up. Monique saying, W stream legs, keep at it always, despite the Zach talk, shaking my fucking head. Good times, good times. Let's keep climbing. Yeah, it is what it is. People are going to want to talk about the topic du jour and trade kind of things, and we'll humor them to an extent, Monique. Just a little bit. Alley-oop to Monique. All right, yeah. Mo is such a shining star in the Raptors nation, the community champion, and a great leader in the Raptor Freak family. We love you, Mo. Kevin's saying, Koloko looked promising last year. Good shot blocker. Yeah, they robbed him of some of his shot blocks, calling them fouls last year. But yeah, I'm excited. I wanted him to come back and be healthy. I really want to see him and see him getting more progress in his young career. In some ways, this sucks. We're getting robbed of this, himself getting robbed of it too. So I want him back. I want him back as soon as possible. Cool Cat saying Zach is not a creator and he's a defensive liability. He has not been successful in Chicago. Also, he will not want to play behind Pascal, Scotty, and OG. And he's never been successful wherever he's been. When he's on Minnesota, he was not successful there. And he has not been successful in Chicago. In some ways, we look at that track record of whether this guy is in a place and he adds to winning in the overall scheme of things. Dennis adds to winning. But Zach doesn't necessarily. He's a really good scorer, but there's lack of things in his career and his life. And some of those things add up to not winning for the team. High volume shooters are not always good for your team. They can take away from good people taking the shots that should be taken instead. And that's why you have to be very careful with somebody like Zach LaVine, because you put him in your ecosystem and all of a sudden some of your species die out because he's taking all the shots. And I don't like that. All right, let's do the Raptors Instagram check real quick. We got Koloko calling Scottie Pippen Jr. his son. He's saying, my son is balling because he played for the South Bay Lakers yesterday against the Ignite, and he had 27 points. So, yeah, Koloko's son is Scottie Pippen Jr., apparently. You should go talk to Scottie Pippen Sr. and see if that's right, Koloko. I mean, I know Larsa Pippen's a very, interesting woman with her romances. But Koloko, were you in there too? I know Eric Moreland was in there, so it makes sense if you were in there too. But yeah, is Koloko really Scottie Pippen Jr.'s dad? This is weird. He just called him his son. Slim Duck's always got funny stuff on his Instagram. He's got if self-awareness was a person. He's got some kid with a green shirt, and he's funny. He's acting like a ham. Really funny stuff. Mr. New York City. It's weird because he wasn't even at the game for the 905 yesterday. He wasn't even sitting on the bench. I don't like that. Marquise, where are you? You should be with your team, and you should be there supporting with them. Was he on the trip? Is he going on the trip with them to Cleveland? He's going to be on the bench with them instead of being with the 905 team? No, I don't agree with that. I think you need to have him with his 905 people, being a leader on the bench, even if he's not able to play. But Marquise is saying, I think there's a point in your healing journey where you stop trying to convince other people to do the right thing. You just observe their choices, understand their character, and decide what you're going to allow in your life. Real spill, 100%. There you go, Marquise. Always the inspirational stuff. And apparently Marquise was on 2K, and he found himself on the 2K game on the 905 roster. That's pretty interesting. It does not look like Marquise's face scan, but he's on there playing as himself on 2K. Wow, or somebody else was playing it, and he just posted it. But yeah, Marquise, where were you on the sideline yesterday? I was wondering about that. And he's kind of at K-State stuff is getting posted on here. And he's got a really cool shirt on in the last picture he's got there. Pascal, a whole bunch of cool pictures. His person that does his creative stuff is so creative. He's got like a white picture of him with his face is kind of a collage, and there's some images transposed over it. The creativity of the Red Bull team and their collaborations with Siakam on his social media is always so excellent. He has a very high premium quality to his social media content. then you keep going, Siakam. You are a badass. And Red Bull really supports you really well. You have a great family with Red Bull supporting you and being a part of that. I love that. I love that. Here's a picture of him with DeMar, and it's saying DeMar DeRozan is my dog. And of course, he talked about the whole situation with DeMar and whether he's upset with him about shooting the three. And he's like, I don't think he cares. I get why he's upset. And it's about the game. And that's totally what DeMar said. It's like, I don't care if it's an in-season tournament. It's about this game. It's disrespectful for y'all to do that. And Siakam understands that. But I think this is all water in the bridge, and it's kind of overblown. And if the press are trying to make a big deal out of it, make the Raptors seem like villains for trying to run the score up, well, you need to go look at all the other teams in the in-season tournament right now that are just doing the same damn thing. So y'all, once again, try and get on us, manufacture some bullshit like Kevin Durant in the finals getting hurt. You're just trying to start some bullshit like that, Dave Feschuk, is what it is right there. Yeah, there's Siakam with the Red Bull content creator, the photographer next to him. I believe his name is, I forget what his name is. Let's see. There's a post about him being in the rap song by Czarface. So it's a cool moment for him, is what Siakam's saying. A cool moment for me to be named in the new Czarface rap song. Good stuff. You've arrived, Siakam. You're probably a pretty interesting name to rhyme into a rhyme structure. Pretty interesting. There's the highlights from the 905 yesterday. In some ways, I'm half-assing y'all just like y'all are half-assing things. But y'all could be better and better. Okay, Marquise was there. I see him there in the background now. So he was there. I just didn't see him on the bench for some reason yesterday. But he was there with Mississauga. So this is good. This is good. Dennis has got his new YouTube out. And then there's a really cool picture on Dennis's Instagram stories of them having dinner last night, the team, the Raptors. We see Jakob, we see Scotty, we see Otto, I think we see OG, and we see Koloko. And the Raptors team having dinner at a table and kind of like getting together and like having team dinner. That's always good. And as Dennis put, it's dinner with the squad. And so I like that. The team dinners on the road are really good bonding times for these guys to get that chemistry up and get in a good place. There's your Raptors Instagram check. Just real quick, they had team dinner last night, according to Dennis's Instagram stories. All right, let's see. Let me see. Where was I here? Okay, hang on. Oh, you guys filled it up some more while I was doing that. That's good. Let's see. Wayne Strainer saying anticipating continued good plays from Precious and Malachi, leadership from Otto and Pascal, and controlled aggression from Scotty. I like all those. Those are great predictions for today. I want to see Scotty continue to exert his will on the court in his athleticism and his pure raw energy. That is something that he's done recently very effectively, and we're seeing more and more of it. I love it. I love it. Besides all the great low post shooting and the great work down there, the better to improved three-point shooting, his go and get attitude with his energy right now on getting loose balls, rebounds, getting blocks is fantastic. Keep going in that direction, Scotty, because that's winning basketball kind of stuff. And leadership from Otto and Pascal for sure. And yes, continued consistency from guys like Achua and Flynn. That would be great. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, remember, we are still figuring what to feature for Scotty. No one can disrupt Scotty's growth. Pascal, OG have no issues. Other players might cause drama. Yeah, we've got the right nucleus right now. I really do think the improvements for our team are on the second unit. We can bolster our bench with better, credible scorers and maybe a more solid backup point guard and a center. I'd be happier. In some ways, that it's not really the main guys I want to switch out. I like our starting five. I think our starting five is actually very killer awesome. And in some ways, it's really looking at the second unit and the rest of the bench is where we should be looking to improve, not a home run with a new starter. I think that we don't want to mess with the delicate balance of what we've got in our starting lineup right now. The bonds of Pirtle and Siakam are strong. The bonds of Anunoby and Barnes is strong. Dennis Schroeder's connection is growing every day between Siakam, Barnes, Pirtle, and OG. So it's like that's a good five. That's a very good starting five. That may be one of the best starting fives in the league on the down low. And in some ways, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to upset that group. I want to upset the second group, the backup group, and get some better quality there. I think that's the place to get the improvement from a trade. Monique saying, this became the Zach show. Shaking my head. No more tomorrow, etc. This is right. Monique has some power in this channel. I'm going to tell you that right now. She is somebody that helps me with this channel, and I take her advice very seriously. So she's declaring no more Zach talk tomorrow. Y'all better listen to her. And we're not talking Zach tomorrow. All right, y'all. Cowboy saying another alley-oop to Monique for that. He's all about that too. No more of this Zach talk. He's seconding what she's saying. Kareem saying only Zach I idolize is Zach Morris. All right, Kareem, you just want to get the Saved by the Bell reference dunk. You go ahead. Yeah. I really feel sad for Screech and Dustin Diamond's story. It's really messed up how he's treated on that show. If you don't know about Dustin Diamond's life and just how tragic it is, watch the dark side of comedy. There's an episode on him that is, oh man, it's so depressing and sad, his life and what happened to him. And you realize that Zach Morris and those other actors, they treated him like he was on the show. They treated him like a nerd, and they did not hang out with him behind the scenes. They very much outcasted him in real life, not just on TV. That Dustin Diamond got treated. He was younger than all the rest of them too, and they were all teenagers, and he was a little bit younger, and they were all like screwing and around and doing stuff, and they really did treat him like an outcast and a nerd, just like they did on the TV show. So that's sad. It's very sad, the story of Screech and Dustin Diamond. I highly recommend that dark side of comedy. You watch it and you'll feel for him. And you remember when he became a villain and became like an asshole, and you realize why he did it. It was really sad. It's a really sad thing, the whole thing. Stargate saying DeMar coming off the bench here would be perfect. Remember when the Lakers put Lamar Odom on the bench? Instant championship team, but can DeMar's ego handle it? DeMar doesn't have an ego like that. He would do it. It's whether he'd want to play for Toronto and Masai is the biggest question. But I wouldn't question whether he'd come off the bench and do that, especially if it gets him closer to possibly winning a championship. Cowboys saying everyone enjoy the game tonight. We win it. That's right. And Cowboys laughing at Kareem. And Kareem Thomas saying Neon Moon all day. That's right. Paul B saying we need to raise above 500 tonight. This is our year. And Monique saying Lex, Max Gilbert is back posting on IG Scotty's old videography. Okay, is it new material or is he just posting the old stuff? And Cool Cat saying, I think one more year of Scotty's development, and then we are ready for chip run. Scotty is the X factor. He is making the leaps. That's right. And I was saying this all along. We're going to see Scotty make huge leaps, and it's going to fill in the gap of where people are like, why are the Raptors doing this? They're going nowhere. Well, you've got to understand who Scotty Barnes is and just exactly how overpowering and amazing he's going to be in the next near future. Very much. Kareem saying, we should look into bringing back Bruno. Dude is now 6'10 and 78 inches wingspan. He seems a bit more polished, low risk, high reward. I wouldn't be against this. Maybe 8 years away from being 8 years away was about the right timeline, at least for the Raptors. I don't know. I'm okay with that. All right, let me do the main event marquee matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Today we're going to have an air guitar competition between two contributors from these two teams. First of all, on the side for the home team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, we have 6'10" Evan Mobley. On this side for the Toronto Raptors, playing air guitar for the Toronto Raptors from West Palm Beach, Florida, 6'10" Scotty Barnes. All right, we got an air guitar competition tonight. We're gonna have to see who has the riz and the personality to bring it out and get the votes from the crowd as far as how they yeah. So who do you think will win an air guitar competition as likability, Evan Mobley or Scotty Barnes? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll see how they play tonight. Once again, the injuries are as such. Really nothing for the Raptors, except for Marquise Noel is on that list and Koloko. The Cavs have Dean Wade, Darius Garland day-to-day. Ty Jerome is out, and Ricky Rubio is out. And I'm going to guess that Donovan Mitchell may be a late scratch today. I'm going to predict that right now for you guys, right now. So if you see if I'm right, by the time the game, we'll see if Mitchell actually plays tonight, because I don't know if he will. I'm going to tell you that right now. Our referees tonight are Ben Taylor, Eric Dalen, and John Butler. John Butler is for the Raptors, even though just barely, not a good ref for us, but just barely for us. And then Eric Dalen and Ben Taylor are absolutely fantastic referees for the Raptors for tonight. So a very favorable ref crew with Fred VanVleet's favorite friend, Ben Taylor, running things for us tonight. So yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching me today for this preview for the Cleveland game today. Go about your Sunday in the right way, like Cowboy would and Monique, and Raptorize your day. And do it the right way so that you put that energy in the ether for the Raptors to get a good win. We got to the spot early today. I hope the Raptors will do the same. And once again, some of the advice we've been given today is watch out in the paint. There's some very long arms down there that you may need to look out for. And if you have to shoot more threes, let's make them. Make your open shots, get lots of assists, stay connected on defense, play smart. We should win this game. We're 8-8, and we want to be 9-8 tomorrow. So let's win tonight, Raptors. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Isaac, for the W. All the best to everybody today on this Sunday. Have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and join if you can. And I appreciate every one of y'all. I'll be back tomorrow with a reaction to the game today. I'll be here 9:30 a.m. I promise. All right, y'all. Let's go Raptors, and let's rock the